but it will take a minute before people start to siphon in.
Yeah, I think Edward stepped out for a second. I just
That's
texted him.
completely fine. It's going to take a while for, we will see how many, oh, 57. All right. Went from 0 to 57. Um, Hello, tis the nerd. Hi, everybody. Can you hear us? Please, would someone type in the chat if they can hear us? They can hear me specifically. Yes, you can. Oh my goodness. All right. Roger, Roger. Hello, hello, everybody. It is so good that you could join us tonight. We're very excited. We've got pretty much the whole cast here, except for a few people. So they are very excited to hang with you. We also have some fan fiction tonight that we're going to try to read. I want to warn everybody in the beginning, we are not going to get through everything. I know that, for example, Adam can only be with us for an hour, and while I'm sure the others can be with us a little longer, I don't expect them to give up their whole Saturday nights. But Rue, I will stay on for as long as there's interest, so that will be the thing there, or as long as my voice holds out. I'm so glad. Oh my God. It's like 3 a.m. We got a lot of people from France, and it's like 3 a.m., and some of them stayed up. So I'm very pleased. I hope you all have something good to drink, something good to eat. Raythe Rangers unite indeed, Eleanor. So this is like, I'm shaking with excitement. I am too, Ariel. I hope this all goes. We actually got the technicals part to come. We're just gonna give like until about 8:05 or so to basically get adjusted. I know some people are getting some things in the background. Nice Hennessy. Hennessy. I'm gonna just like pin that message for the Discord. Do I sound higher? Well, it's because I'm not doing this, Catherine. That's why I don't sound like myself to you. But don't you worry. Raythe is here. So, someone's in a 3-hour car ride. All right. Someone's got their Diet Coke. Nice, nice, nice. I've got champagne and Diet Coke. Someone's alarm woke them at 1:55 a.m. and they're willing to suffer. Hello, Lily. Hello, hello. Excellent. I'm so glad you guys are coming in. So we've got a foolish house here. Morning from Japan. Yes, I'm so glad you're here, Saya. I know for some people they can actually be here when they can't be at the 2 o'clock streams. Yes, so it's 8 p.m. here. When will more be released in the members area? You mean about Everdark? Very soon will be more. By the way, for Raythe Rain members, you can listen to up to chapter 33. So, hello. Seriously, I didn't think you were going to be here. Everyone got their McDonald's? All right. Hello, morning from Australia. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Très bien. 6 p.m. All right. Nice, nice, nice. I hope for those of you who celebrate that you had a good time at Halloween or having some Halloween fun. I'm going to have candy and champagne tonight. Katya's, thank you for buying the audiobook and for saying it's fire and enjoying it. Will the voice actor cast read Everdark Academy 2 if I can make them do it? So, yes. See, now I've like said you're going to do it online, guys. So it's too late now. I know, got you. Yeah, and there's 3 serials planned for this thing. The first one is, basically the Daemon returning. The second one is dealing with the outcome of the war, and the third one is humanity. Happy Halloween, everyone. Vera says they would love for you guys to read EDA. Excellent. It's not like they have other things to do. No, they've pledged themselves to Raythe right now. Yes, yes, yes. Bruno is here, Lily. Bruno, would you say hello? I think we've
No,
lost him.
we don't talk about Bruno.
Amazing.
Hey, yes, I am here.
Perfect.
You're loved, Bruno. You were loved.
That's very nice. That's all I ever did it for.
Exactly. Definitely for the love. So someone's ditched 2 parties to be here. Oh my god. Oh, excellent. Lily's like, hi, Bruno, in all caps.
Hello, Lily.
Oh, somebody's
Yes.
got the Encanto reference.
Of course.
I apologize in
So-
advance for my referential humor.
It's excellent, Jay. So I don't know if you guys recognize Jay without his Scottish brogue for Arceus.
Do our
But
CS
there
for a
he is.
moment.
Yeah.
No.
No. All right. Actually, it
Is that
doesn't look
enough?
like Edward's back yet, but I was just hoping that you guys would each say hello, starting with Adam. Will you say hello and tell again? Remind people who you play in Everdark.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Adam Riley, and I play Christian and Julian. And happy Halloween.
Excellent. Jay?
Yeah, I am Jay Thalis. I play Arceus and a little bit of William as well.
I can't wait to hear you, William. I've been not listening ahead.
Oh, good,
I'm
good,
trying
good.
not to. Hannah, who do you play?
William is like my favorite character in this whole thing because of Jay. But I am Hannah Hart, and I am playing Sophia Strange and Fiona Darksilver.
Nice.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
Bruno. I think it goes without saying who you play, but please introduce yourself.
Yes, hi, I'm Bruno, and I play Caemorn.
Excellent. And then, last but hardly least, is Edward.
Happy Halloween, everyone. My name is Edward, and I play Damon. And Balthazar.
Yes.
And a myriad of others.
and yes, and everyone else. So everyone is like, yeah, everyone's saying they love you guys. I know you can't probably see the comments, but everyone is like chanting names. There's a Caemorn, Hannah. There's a love
Yeah,
you.
I can see the comments.
We can see them. We can see
Oh,
them. It's
good.
lovely. Thank you
Okay.
guys so much.
We can see your comments, and it's wonderful.
I've never been
It's
so
wonderful.
well liked.
Excellent. Yay. So the plan for tonight is that we did get in some really beautiful art, which I'm going to try to show. We also got in some fanfic, which we're going to try to get through some of it. I have to apologize in advance. When I had Kat ask for fanfic, I did not realize that you guys would be so loquacious, namely that we had a 3,000 word piece. We have routinely 1,000 word pieces, and that's just too long. We can't do, that's all we'd be doing for hours, for like 5 hours. So we're going to try to do a couple pieces, and then I promise that I will read the others, and if I can, if somebody else wants to join me, they can at another time. So I do apologize for that. But by the way, all of this stuff was sent to the actors, so they did see it. So they know that you wrote it. We all read them. So, and also what we can do is we can definitely make sure that they are posted somewhere so that everyone else, can read them. Vera, it was lovely. But yes, it's just too much. I'm so sorry. It's my fault. I should have said something like 300 words, 250, which is a nothing. But we will try to do a bunch of them.
May I just say, as the manager of all of this amazing art from you guys, it was so inspiring. We as artists so rarely get to share with you guys so intimately, and so it's so great that we've inspired you guys, and that Raythe has inspired you guys to write all this amazing stuff, and not just write but draw and video, and it's really amazing that you guys took the time to do that. So thank you so much to all of you.
I am just so glad for that. We do appreciate it. This was just really spectacular. And Kat, I'm having an issue in that I can't, for some reason, download. Oh, I can. All right. I just realized that I have foolishly not downloaded this in advance. Ooh, I love this Balthazar. Oh my god. All right, so some of you are just trying to get a job at Raythe here with some of your amazing art talent. So we are. What did we say about guys doing the first bit with Adam? Because I think Adam, there is a one that's really an Adam piece right away, in the Halloween special.
Sure.
Did we keep who wrote this? No, we did not. That's always good. So just so you guys know, this is the Christian-ish guy, ASMR. Human high school nerd boy makes friends with the vampire bully, gets bitten, AMSR roleplay. So Adam, you are to go. You're live, my friend.
All right. Look, I found your secret. You're not really a high school student, are you? You're a vampire. Look, I found your picture in these old yearbooks here, and again here. What gave it away? You wear all black, and goth style isn't even in right now. Your super strength when shoving me into the lockers. Not even the football team is that strong. And did you know your eyes kind of go weird when you're angry? Just want to understand. What did I ever do to you? And why stay in high school? I can't wait to get out of this stupid town. There's no place for a nerd like me. But you could go anywhere you want. Oh, yeah, that sort of makes sense. I guess it's hard to feel normal when you never get any older. My dad's still stuck in high school too, so I guess I can't blame you, especially if you never look any older. At least you don't wear your class ring. I can't imagine being a vampire stuck in high school. What? I'm gonna find out. Oh no!
All right, very good, very good. Whoever did that, they have some of my my love of horror in this too. This is very nice. Excellent, excellent. All right, how about we do one more and then we're gonna talk. By the way, guys, if you have a question for one of the actors, again, put their name in all caps or their character name if you can't remember their actor name, and we will try to answer those. Adam is here for just an hour before he has to go, so if you have a question for Adam, please ask those quickly. Kat, if you can make sure those are highlighted or sent to me or something so I don't miss them, that would be great. But in the meanwhile, let's do scene 2, which has the Halloween Shack. It's a short story by Ari Lobel. I don't know if that's probably not how it's pronounced. Julian and Christian are played by Adam. Balthazar is Edward. So the Halloween Shack.
The past, before Julian's parents died.
What are you supposed to be?
Julian asked Christian. It irritated Christian to no end. Julian knew exactly what he was dressed as. They'd talked about it not 2 hours earlier. They'd been planning this for weeks now. Well, two could play this game.
I'm an alien commander of a spaceship. Look, I even have a laser rapier.
He pressed a button on his sword. He knew it was essentially an oversized laser pointer, but he still thought it was more likely to be practical than Julian's big black dragon balloon hat.
Come on, oh scary Dragon King. We have trick-or-treating to do. Coming.
Julian caught up to him. Trick-or-treating wasn't the main reason they were out there tonight. It was just a cover for their real plan. Though the treats were certainly a bonus, they had made out a few good hunting spots for sweets. The library was the first place they would go to collect sweets. Mrs. McArdle, the librarian, always had great candy to give out. Afterward, however, they wanted to go into the woods. They'd heard rumors of a mysterious shack deep into the woods, supposedly off the beaten path. The strange thing was, the people who claimed to have seen the shack could not remember actually going to investigate or returning. Nobody Christian and Julian had spoken to could find their way back to the shack again, even though they swore they knew where they had first seen it. Even more mysterious, Halloween night was the only time the shack ever appeared. All claimed they had seen it clearly, but it always appeared in a different place. Most kids had thought it a prank the adults had pulled to scare off the trick-or-treaters going home early. However, this Halloween night, Christian and Julian were determined to stay out until they had found the spooky shack. They had their backpacks hidden at the edge of the forest and, based on the stories of previous encounters, tracked the most likely spots where it might happen again. Present day.
And then what happened? What did you find?
Balthazar leaned forward slightly, waiting to hear how Julian and Christian had solved the mystery of the disappearing shack. Christian could see it quite clearly. Balthazar didn't have to read his mind to know that much. However, Christian didn't remember ever starting the story. Wasn't he just explaining to Damon what Halloween was? Halloween had always meant adventure for Julian and Christian. There was no night like Halloween night. So many mysterious stories and claims, stories of vampires, witches, and were-creatures walking among everyday people never seemed as believable as they did on that one special night of the year.
We woke up at home.
Julian answered for Christian.
We didn't remember anything after entering the woods. We found ourselves exactly where we started. Our stuff was there, so were our Halloween sweets, but we didn't remember that story until, well, just now.
Julian shared a bewildered look with Christian before he continued.
The shack had an old heavy door with an elaborate doorknob that looked like it belonged on a haunted mansion rather than an old shack in the woods. And there was a symbol on the door too. We were so young and it was too overgrown to be certain.
Christian chimed in.
The symbol had 2 interlocking rings. And you thought it looked like an infinity symbol.
Julian said, laughing in disbelief. A hush fell over the group. Julian looked down at the tattoo on his wrist, the infinity symbol that had appeared when he became Damon's fledgling. He and Christian had totally forgot all about that night and the mysterious shack in the woods until this very moment, this Halloween night.
Most excellent, guys. There's a scene 3, which we'll do in a minute, but there is actually a question for you, Edward. Do you like playing Balthazar?
Absolutely. I mean, what more is there to say? Of all the characters I get to play in Everdark, I personally identify with Balthazar the most in terms of, I would like to think of myself as a rake with a heart of gold, but who knows?
Exactly. I think, it's funny because I think Balthazar to me is the most relatable because he really does, he is very, how shall I put this? He's very skilled and everything like that, and he pretends to be all that. You can totally see the cracks in that facade, right? And he admits what
Absolutely.
all of us feel.
Yeah.
So,
I think there's a little bit of Balthazar in all of us.
yes, there is a little bit of
Or would you
that
like
in all
there
of
to be?
us. Oh, I think I definitely would like there to be. I think we'd all like there to be.
Absolutely.
Just, you guys would not know this, but the dragon balloon hat comes from Dragon's Reign, where it's an amusing little thing. That's why they put that in there, which is very nice. So that was an Easter egg for those of you who've read Dragon's Reign. Okay, just before a couple more questions before we go into part 3, Edward, which you are most responsible for. So the question here is, I was wondering if in the book, of Everdark, is there going to be another vampire like Damon? No. Damon is unique and singular. There is no one else like Damon. Let's see here what we go. Yeah, maybe Howl's moving spooky shack. There is some wonderful thanks to everybody. Oh, Bruno, question. What is the craziest Halloween costume you've ever worn?
Well, I don't know about craziest, but a couple of years ago I did, before the pandemic, Edgar Allan Poe. That was cool. And my wife dressed up as a raven. So couldn't quite balance her on my shoulder, but it was a decent twosome costume.
Nice. I love it. I absolutely love it, man.
And I
Okay.
actually had a flat cardboard attached around my waist with a belt,
Yes.
so it was a writing desk.
Yes. Oh, that's excellent. That is excellent. That's very clever. I never do anything clever on those. I'm always like, I'm a ghost or a witch or a vampire, because I'm like, I can pull that off. There was another reference in this piece we just did to Empire of Stars, which is another one of the stories that we write. So very good twofer, author of this thing. That was just awesome. We are so happy that you're here too. That was a very clean switch, Adam, between Julie and Christian. Very nice.
That is so kind. I'm so self-conscious about that. So I really,
You
I've
really
been
did
reading
it.
these comments and just taking screenshots so I can sleep at night. Thank you
Oh.
very much.
There we go. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. By the way, you're more than welcome. I'm sorry you're not in a good spot. We've all been there. We've all been there. So I'm so glad. Okay, so they just seem to be very happy. Everyone's like, yeah, another one. Oh my God, Adam switching characters during a live read. They took it to heart when you told them about how you go through as one character in a chapter and then the other, so you don't get them, switched.
I literally
You
have
did.
2 different microphones helping me out to make my voice sound different. So.
Sweet. Well, everyone is thoroughly amazed and loving it, what you guys are doing. So, people who sent this stuff in did a really good job, just in a very short time. In a very short time. He is a nerd over cute boys. He totally is. He totally is. Let's see here. Good night. Lucy has left. Let's see. Oh, not a surprise, Edward, but Balthazar is another person's favorite. He also gives you Larian vibes, who is another character in Dragon's Reign. Okay. I'm going down, and then we're going to do the third one. Raythe, do you have any other books in mind already to be read? I do not. Like I said, although this is taking so much of the actor's time, but I really would like them to do the whole Everdark arc. But that would take some time if they're willing to do it. We're definitely willing to have them. So, in terms of for myself, I'm doing Empire of Stars, which is still going to be huge. And the new story I'm doing called The Night Prince is like, I always have these fantasies of like, oh, I could ask them to read this one too. And then they're like, no. But that's another one that I love. Okay, Bruno, we have another question. Well, it's more like just a thing. Can I just say, I love your Caemorn voice. Also, do you enjoy playing antagonists?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Bruno, that's for you.
They're the better characters.
Nice.
There's way more to delve into, I think.
I laugh because I found out from Adam that he often plays villains. Do you play villains routinely in your acting work or not really?
My biggest role was he started out as an antagonist and he became friends with the main character. So you can always turn an antagonist, especially if it's grounded and the personality is that mostly they're just looking for attention and they just want a friend.
They want a friend. Thank you. That's yes. Well, I can't speak of Caemorn because I don't want to ruin it for anyone who's not read ahead. So Adam, there's another just a very happy listener.
Thank you so much, Kitty's Live Fox.
Yeah, it's so awesome. Okay, question to everybody. What was your scariest Halloween experience? I'll actually start this one because I used to live in this house in Wilmette, and I had so many things happen to me in this house. I actually had a friend's mom who was like sensitive. She came into the house once and she left. She came in during the afternoon and left. It was a bright sunny day and she left. But one of the things that scared me the most, it was in the middle of the afternoon. I was going to meet up with a friend. We were going to play tennis. We were going to play tennis badly, mind you. Don't think that I'm skilled. I'm not. And I was leaving my room, and my brother's room was over the garage, and there was like 3 steps down to a landing, and then there was the stairs down to the first floor. Bright, sunny afternoon. My brother is not in his room, and I suddenly get to the landing, and there are voices, like whispering voices, like the stuff that makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up, coming out of my brother's room. Things like, is she there? What's happening? Will she come close? This kind of stuff. And I am like, I remember standing there and sort of swaying back and forth, listening to this, absolutely terrified. And this is the thing that scares me most about it, because it was bright sunlight. I remember turning and walking down the stairs, and I totally forgot it happened by the time I reached the bottom of the stairs. And I didn't remember it happened for years until I was going down to that same spot and the memory hit me. And it's the reason why it's so scary is because it's so, it didn't make, it was bright daylight and this happened, and then the lack of memory of it. I never mentioned it, and then suddenly I remember this. So, Adam, do you have like a scary story that's happened?
You know, I don't know that it was right at Halloween, but when I was in middle school, I was part of this class called Challenge for nerds like me, where we got to kind of make our own projects. And I did a documentary, a self-shot documentary of all the haunted places in the hometown I grew up in. And I ended up in the lowest floor of this old hospital that had since been converted to a museum, and they still had what they used to call the body tunnel intact. So when it was a hospital, they used to get rid of, roll the bodies out that way to the morgue. Very creepy and still intact. So they unlocked this big door, and I got to be locked in there for a half hour with my camera. And I was going in all gutsy and thinking I'd film everything, and I just froze. Like the power of the stories around this place just kind of stuck me in my 14-year-old place. So I learned a good lesson.
Good Lord. Good Lord. Okay, that's awful. Jay, do you have one?
I am racking my brains to try and think of a scary Halloween story. Most of my Halloween stories are mostly ridiculous costumed debauchery. That's kind of what I do on Halloween.
That's another kind of live stream.
Exactly. But no, I think the scariest thing I've had happen is I picked up the phone. It wasn't at Halloween, unfortunately, but I did pick up the phone once and just heard a whisper of, "Hey, I wish I could come up there with you," out of nowhere. Yeah, it was weird. And then I was like, "I'm sorry." I had that cold flush that you get.
Yes.
I said, "I'm sorry," and then someone picked up and was like, "Hi, you're speaking to," and I had a conversation with them, but I never figured out what on earth that first thing was. And
my
that
God,
still sits with me.
Yes. Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Hannah, do you have one?
Oh my Lord. Okay.
Oh.
So like Raythe, I'm a huge horror fan. And I recently just got back from Calgary, Alberta. I don't know if there's any Calgary, Alberta people on our live stream. But I just got back from there, where I was visiting some friends of mine who are also horror enthusiasts. And we've known each other since we were very, very young. And one time I was at my friend Angie's house in Ottawa, and it was a really old house. And I was, like kids, I think I was probably like 12, 13, maybe. I was sleeping on a mattress on the floor, and she was up in her bed. And in the middle of the night, I woke up and I looked toward the door, and there was a woman standing there. And I thought, oh, obviously that is her mother just checking on us in the middle of the night. And I rolled over and I went back to sleep because what else are you going to do?
Right.
And the next morning we all woke up, and all around the house, everyone's jewelry, like necklaces and bracelets, they were all hung up on like the shower curtain or like doorknobs. Yeah, it was the weirdest thing. And then I didn't say anything about my sort of waking up in the middle of the night and there was this woman standing there for years. And then very recently we were talking about it, and I'm like, "Oh, do you remember that night, Angie?" And she said, "Oh my God." She's like, "Why didn't you say something sooner?" She's like, "I woke up and I saw the same thing." And I thought it was you standing there going to the bathroom in the middle of the night. And then, maybe one of us was like sleepwalking and hung things up, but I was like, "No, I don't think so."
Oh
So,
my God.
I gotta say that was
my
like the most
God.
eerie, creepy experience I've ever had.
Yikes.
And I love horror to this day, so
Sweet. Okay, Bruno, I know that you don't believe in any of the supernatural stuff, if I remember correctly, but have you ever had a scary thing happen to you?
Yeah, I mean, not specifically Halloween, but I used to have a friend in school, and I'd have sleepers, and he was in sort of an old built house out in the country. And when I tried to go to sleep, there were creaks and pipe clanks and floor creaks during the night. And he told me, yeah, the previous owners had told him that there was a ghost in the house, and his parents corroborated it. And this was at 12 or 13 years old. And when it came to leaving school at 18, we had these notebooks that we were signing messages in each of the books, because we don't have yearbooks in England. But our year had decided to have some books and write messages in each of those books. And when he came to write a note in my book, he admitted that he had made the whole thing up, and even his parents had made it up.
Bastards! Oh,
with
that
it.
is.
Yes, absolute git. I'd spent many a night there, terrified, listening to noises, and they made the whole
They
thing up.
totally.
They
those
totally had me.
bastards.
Yeah, I know. So mean.
No, it's
I'm
like
just,
I will never believe.
I was just a naive, innocent young school child.
I know. I so understand that. I know that Edward is actually talking to people in the chat. So I won't ask him this, although, Edward, you might have already answered this question before we have you do the next part. But how do you practice voicing Damon, Edward? How did you come up with Damon's voice? I don't know if he's going to hear me.
I don't. I'm trying to remember now. For me, it was looking at the artwork to begin with, of the size and shape of Damon. As we know, according to canon or your writing, Raythe, Damon is large all over. And there's a certain, you want a certain voice with a character like that.
If Damon was like this, I don't know if that would be good.
So there's that. And just playing around on the microphone until I find a voice that I enjoy. And for me, Damon was looking at certain actors that I think have that sort of presence and size and body beauty and voice beauty. So that's what I do. I get on the microphone and I warm up my resonators, my chest resonators, and work a bit down here.
Yeah.
Close to the microphone. And just lean
Exactly.
and think of chocolate. Chocolate and leather.
That would be him. Yes, chocolate and leather. Excellent.
Maybe some wolf fur too. Which
Yeah,
is
there we
lovely,
go,
by the
wolf
way,
fur.
if you've experienced it.
Yes. So everyone, okay, there is, how we did one of the questions where it was like, what would vampires like about the modern world? And we said Tinder and Grindr and everything. And I actually have a manga series called datavampire.com, which is based on the idea that vampires are out and they have an app for that. And this is how they get to meet up with people. And everyone wants the third volume of that. But Mathia, who does all this beautiful art that you guys do, and she also works for 40K Warhammer, so does not have, I have to have them do what I can have them do. Do you know what I mean? So people are always like, won't you do this other stuff? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I know. But this always inspires. Okay. So Zach has a question. They grew up with hardly any gay influence in the media, and it's unfortunately still pretty minimal and even taboo, as we know on YouTube, and even taboo to a lot of people. So how did everyone get into doing gay audiobooks? So, Edward, can you start with that one, and we'll work our way up? Did we lose him? I think we lost him, because I see there's a red line. Bruno, can you take this one?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, from an actor's point of view, I don't judge, any medium, whether it's whatever sort of characterization you want to give to it. It's straight, gay, bi, whatever. It doesn't matter to me what it is. It's as long as it's well written, as long as it's a human story. I mean, it doesn't matter to me, to be honest. But I'm very proud to be a part of something that is so well received in the gay community, in the queer community. But from an actor's point of view, I'm honestly willing to do anything and represent anything. That's my job. Yeah. So I mean, I mean, from a cynical point of view, yeah, I'm an actor and I'll do anything. But the fact that you enjoy it and that you think it's representing your community, all the more better.
Yes, that's exactly. Yeah, definitely feeling that. So here we go for Raythe in the cast. For Raythe in the cast, do you celebrate any Halloween traditions with your family and friends? Keep up the amazing job. Jay, how do you celebrate any Halloween traditions, or other than live streaming with us?
I may have gone to a live action role playing event nearby and did a bit of almost like live action Dungeons and Dragons. I did a bit of that the other night. It's so much fun. I also, funnily enough, speaking of family, my parents are flying out here and they show up tomorrow. And Halloween is between them showing up and my birthday. So we're probably going to have some sort of costume shindig with friends and family somewhere nearby.
Fun.
But that's pretty much it. Any excuse to put on a costume and have fun, really, I guess.
Yes. No, it's excellent. That is so excellent. We are all D&D nerds on this side of
Exactly.
things, guys. So just so you know, Adam, there's just endless love that, you just do two characters and they had no idea.
It really tickles me.
I know, it's just like, it's like going through this. Let's see here. Here's a question for you, Adam. And then we're going to do Edward's section, and then we're going to do sort of the big one where I'm actually going to play one of the roles in one of the sections. So, Adam, for you, since you voiced Julie and Christian, who both have totally different personalities, what is one admirable trait you love about your characters, and what are some traits you relate to?
Well, I in the last Q&A we did, I feel like I am Christian, so I have to relate to pretty much everything Christian is. I have the same kind of healthy cynicism and hesitancy and all the things that make Christian who he is. I admire a lot about Julian, though. If I had to pick one thing, I think it would be how impulsive he is. He's very passionate, and he's willing to just kind of, on the spur of the moment, take action, see what happens, throw himself into something fully and commit to it. Whereas I personally really tend to fall more on the Christian side of things, where I'm going to examine every angle before I misstep.
You and I are like twins. I think I wish I were Julian, but I'm definitely Christian. I mean, there's so much admirable stuff about Christian, but like Julian is like that person I wish I could be so brave or so just unafraid, I guess is what I would say about him.
It's thinking with your head versus thinking with your heart. And I think I've always been 100% head and wish that I had maybe 20% heart.
Yes. No, that's absolutely, absolutely true. So Edward, let's do that third scene. And then we're gonna do a few more questions, and then we'll do the big the big thing, because I know Adam, you have to go, and I'm like counting down the time, and I'm like All right, so Edward, are you ready to go for this?
Standing by.
All right, go ahead, my friends. Go ahead.
Welcome, my dear human. I can tell you're afraid. You did well to come into this house of predators, or some would say monsters. I have been watching you, sometimes from very, very close by, and I am certainly a monster. What's that? A beautiful monster. Well, I'm so glad you think so. Oh, my luscious prey. I want to bite, to have my razor-sharp fangs pierce your delicate skin, to feast on your delicious blood. Assuming, of course, that you showered recently. Modern plumbing is a vampire's best friend these days. Anyway, just sit back and relax. Look into my eyes. Let yourself fall into them as you become my slave. Give me all your fears, all of your petty human worries. Your only purpose is to give me your blood. Ah, good. That seems to have done the trick. I can see you're ready. Now, I shall strike.
Oh my God. I'm like fanning myself. I'm sure other people are fanning themselves. Good God, Edward. That's going to be something that I think we're all going to basically. Yeah. Good Lord. Everybody's like, the questions are now coming in like, ah! All right. I don't think I can go after that. Next race pick. Okay. So, excellent work. All the questions are now flying, and I am losing my ability to see old ones. So, okay, I'm just gonna go down and see if I can't find a couple just more questions. Everyone's loving this. Okay. Hold on. Okay, this can be to anybody, but what surprised you most about Damon, Julian, Christian, and Balthazar? Does anyone, can people hear me? I don't know if I lost everyone. Adam, what surprised you most about Julian?
Well, I think my answer is probably the same for both Julian and Christian, and that is just their kind of how adaptable they are to this situation. I talked a lot about kind of the dichotomy that they represent of human nature, one being really impulsive and one being very kind of thoughtful and apprehensive, but they both have moments already in what we've read so far and heard so far where they kind of start to take on each other's attributes. They let the world around them kind of change their natural behaviors and what comes naturally to them. So that's been interesting.
That was one thing that I worried that it would be like Whiplash a little bit, because obviously I enjoy vampire stories and like that kind of thing. But Julian was supposed to start this thing off hating all of them, and it was like never going to last beyond Damon. And I was like, oh, did I drop that too soon? I was like, no. Then he hated Caemorn, and then that changed too. So, Edward, what's the scariest part about Damon and Balthazar, do you think? What are the scariest parts of them?
Oh, the scariest parts for me, for Damon, it's the fact that if he didn't have someone like Julian in his life, he would be capable of doing things that would terrify humans. That to me, he's a force of nature, a great white shark that could just turn on you and not be bothered by it. But I also think there's a sensuality in that too, of that power. For Balthazar, the scariest thing, I actually think Balthazar's a bit of a teddy bear.
Yeah.
I think he's a lover and just wants to be loved. I think he's all of us who just want to be wanted and needed, and not for the externals or, things we have, but who we are. I don't think Balthazar's scary at all, really.
No, and that's the funny thing, right? Because he really has abilities that if he was a different sort of person, i.e. Raythe,
Oh,
what he
absolutely.
could
Yeah.
do would be really terrifying. Because not the other vampires too are potentially not immune to him, his ability to change minds and all this kind of stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
there's just so many
Well,
questions. So many
removing an
questions.
ability to have consent in any situation like that, I guess that's the most terrifying thing. The ability to take away your sense of identity or self, or to make you do things against your will. I think that's pretty terrifying.
And you wouldn't know. Yeah, because that was one
Exactly.
thing when in the latest chapter, oh wait, we didn't really talk about this yet. So no, I won't go into that. But Ray, for those of you keeping track, keep on with Ray and think about what Balthazar tells Christian about what he's going to do to Ray. And what do you think about that? So, yeah, everybody's like, oh, they love this stuff. Okay. I think this summarizes what I felt about this. Your latest reading goes a perfectly, and there goes perfectly good wine all over the keyboard. Too damn funny, Senor Edward. All right.
We will
All
have
right,
no
we are
alcohol abuse on this stream, thank you. You will put all of the alcohol in your mouth. Thank you.
exactly. Okay, so let's do, guys. It's scene 4. Because this will be, I think this is because Adam's in it. Yeah, it's a little bit long. I'm going to be playing the narrator. Damon is Edward. Cop is
Oh, yeah.
Bruno. All right. It's
Nice.
called Weaving Blood with Starlight by Leisurely Panda. All right. Let me just get myself centered here, and then we go.
We've all got our wine to read with.
Yes,
All
absolutely.
over my keyboard.
It was you.
Over the
It was you, Adam.
Tip the keyboard up and into your mouth. It works. Okay. No, make me laugh. All right. The device was like a small metal horse. It rested on a leg that supported a much larger frame. It had 2 wheels and handlebars, with a sleek design and a leather seat set on the back. Julian walked up to the device and turned with a smile as he picked up a helmet.
What do you think?
He asked with that grin. Damon wanted to kiss him, but he always wanted to do that, especially when Julian smiled at him like that.
What is it?
Damon asked.
It's a BMW R18 motorcycle.
Julian said. He pushed a button, and the engine roared to life. Damon grinned slowly. He'd gotten a little more comfortable with cars, but he still hated them. This, though, there was a sleek power that came with the freedom of being able to feel the night's wind and the moonlight on his skin.
You got this for me?
Damon asked.
I figured you'd enjoy it.
Julian said. The image flashed through his mind. Damon in leather gear, an appealing image, and Julian's arms wrapped around him as they flew down the roads of Ravenscross together. The phrase, biker daddy, invaded Damon's thoughts. So this was what that phrase meant. It certainly held appeal, and from what he read in Julian's mind, his fledgling shared those fantasies. That settled it. Damon let his powers stretch out over the city. He quickly found a bar where burly men with thick beards and leather clothes were drinking and having an uproariously good time. He gleaned what he needed from them and walked up to the motorcycle. He straddled it and kicked the stand back as he revved the engine. His smile grew.
This is an excellent gift, my child.
Damon said.
Let's go.
What? Now? You don't.
Julian trailed off as he looked at Damon's face.
You learned to drive just now, didn't you?
I am king.
Damon said. Julian grabbed a helmet, but Damon took it and tossed it aside.
Leave it. It is unnecessary.
Julian didn't argue. He straddled the motorcycle behind his master and wrapped his arms tightly around Damon's waist. Yes, Damon could certainly get used to this. The gates to Ravenscroft Manor opened up as if by their own volition, and Damon sped out onto the street. He turned on the headlight more to be seen than to see. The night was no barrier to him. He accelerated until they were going well over the speed limit. Damon felt the urge to see just what this device was capable of. Though it was nighttime, there were plenty of humans on the road. Damon sped up as they approached. He felt Julian tense behind him, his child's arms squeezing him tighter. He relished the feeling. Julian's thoughts were a conflicting wave of safety, curiosity, and apprehension. Damon turned as they approached one car and passed it in a fluid motion. He heard Julian curse as they immediately came up upon another. Damon smoothly passed that car as well. Julian's heart was beating hard against Damon's back, and he had to laugh as they passed yet another car. The light streaked through his vision and left a glowing afterimage, like meteors falling through the atmosphere.
After all this time, You still doubt me, my one?
Damon asked with a fond caress against Julian's mind.
After all this time, you still surprise me, my king.
Came Julian's teasing response. Julian's mental voice laughed with unhindered joy. It was a beautiful sound, and it spurred Damon to drive even faster. To his delight, the motorcycle met his demand smoothly. The engine purred like a mighty lioness, released from a cage and on the prowl for her dinner. As soon as the thought of dinner crossed his mind, a car pulled out behind them. Flashing blue lights appeared in his mirror. A second later, there was an unpleasantly shrill siren that assaulted Damon's ears.
Shit, now you've done it.
Julian thought.
How little faith you have in your master.
Damon replied. A second passed by, and he felt Julian grin behind him. He knew. Damon pulled over on the side of the interstate. It was dark, and absent the headlights from the police car, there was nothing to illuminate them but the passing lights of other vehicles. The blue police lights continued to flash, and passing cars veered slightly to give them space. The police officer was a stocky man of average height. He was red of face with brown, beady eyes. He shined a flashlight into Damon's face. Damon quickly altered his eyes from red to brown so as not to alarm the officer.
Sir, were you aware that you were going 125 in a 60-mile-per-hour zone?
The officer asked.
I was, officer.
Damon said.
Is that a problem?
Have you been drinking?
Not yet.
Damon said. He smiled and pressed against the man's mind with the Iros gift.
Perhaps you'd like to fix that.
He felt the officer's mind give easily. The protest that he was on duty died on his tongue. Damon rose smoothly off the motorcycle. He didn't even bother to turn it off.
Don't worry. We don't even have to leave this spot.
He said. He let his eyes flash back to their normal, eerily beautiful crimson. The officer's eyes widened with fear. Damon struck. In a second, he had the officer turned around away from the road as his fangs sank into the man's throat. He drank greedily. The blood tasted like smooth, stout beer and iron. It took Damon less than a minute to finish. He waved a hand over the man's face and erased all memory of the encounter before he added a compulsion to return to his car.
This is a fantastic gift, my one.
He said with a wide smile. Julian simply grinned up at him, less bothered now that he had been about watching Damon hunt and feed.
Glad you like it.
He said. Damon leaned down and kissed his fledgling deeply. The kiss grew in ferocity, becoming wildly demanding. They pierced one another's tongues with their fangs and drank until they were both breathless.
Come.
Damon said.
The night is young, and there is more hunting to do.
Oh, guys, you were so great. You were so awesome.
That cop voice, though.
I love it. This like southern
I know, right?
twang.
Are we going to have an Everdark spin-off about
I
the
can't even with that Bruno with his cops. I swear to God, every time it gets me.
I love
John
it. I
P.
love
Cobb?
it. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, I'm like scrolling down. Like I'm so behind you guys. We're still back up to hygiene. I think this does express how everyone feels. I need a moment. I'm dead. I like it. Mega fan 3000. Okay. Yeah. I'm glad I'm not alone. I was making a fool of myself, so this was all good to know that you were all doing it with me. She wants to see some fan art. Okay, hold on a second.
What a great
have
idea. Have we got the fan art coming up?
Yes, we do. I actually have to download, and then I've got to share it. It's the stupidest system that I actually do have one of your video too that we need to do. But let's show some fan art. Hold on a second here. If I missed some of yours, guys, I am so sorry because there's so much of it. And so this is a very cute piece. So this is that scene at the end of volume 1 where I came for you, where it's when basically Julian's like, why did you do this? Why did you, come and risk yourself like this? And Damon's like, I came for you. That was after he had been such a fool, hadn't he, about everything else. He did come. Just when everyone thought that Balthazar was going to get his way, he did not that time. Here we go. This one is just exquisite. I actually love this version of, let's see if I can get it, this one. I don't know how this person did this. This was really spectacular. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who did this one, but that's really spectacular for Balthazar. My goodness. That is really good. Please, if you're in the chat, say who you are.
It says Melissa C up at the top.
Oh, great. That's just very neat. Oh my gosh. Okay. Hold on one second here. No, that's the Halloween thing. All right. We have a lot more cute stuff. Oh, don't make me hurt you. I can't show everything, but I want to do Julian and Damon. At least some of it. Because it's forcing me to download it, then open it up, and then all the silly stuff. We have some really cute stuff from Eleanor Willow that I'm going to show you guys in just 2 seconds. Series. Okay. Okay, so this is... I love how the chat just keeps blocking me. We are going to do... So this is actually more from... I know this is later on, but this is a really cute one, which is Caemorn and Bone Bear. He raises a bear, and it plays a big role, surprisingly enough, in Everdark Academy. One would not think so, and one would not think it's cute, but it is cute. It's very cute. And this is by Eleanor Willow. She did a series of these, which are so adorable. Let's see if it will let me show them to you. Oh, another Caemorn. Yes. Oh, with his werewolves. We got to do that one. Okay. He's in the bath, and look, there's Tarn and Faroon. Oh, I love the that you did the crust. That you did the crust for House Callie. House Callie.
I am really tall, so my legs are always sticking out the bath.
I think you're doing like a Geralt of Rivia thing in this, with him in the bath. Adam, I feel really badly. You have to go, right? Am I right? It's like
I can hang
time?
out for a few more minutes.
Okay. All right.
No rush.
All right. I wanted to see if there were any. Oh God, I know that I've missed so many questions, and it's not allowing me to go back. And I can't even believe it. Let's just see. We could just see like a few more, which is really.
There was one asking Hannah and I which character we would date. And I've been thinking about it for the past 15 minutes. I don't know.
Well, now
it's got to be
you must
Balthazar. I mean, the fan art that you had is the graphic for this event. Got to be Balthazar.
Yes.
He's the most interesting, complicated, funny. Got to be Balthazar.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Adam. I think Balthazar is pretty hot, but also Caemorn.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's the guy you want to change, right?
He is the guy you want to change.
Mm-hmm.
That's so very true.
Mhm.
Yeah, you want to save him, and you can save him. Speaking of Balthazar, I'm going to share this, even though this has not officially been shared anywhere yet. Of course, now I cannot find it because it wants to make me sad. Hold on a second here. This is really you're gonna make this difficult for me, are you? Yeah. These are so good. I have to still keep bringing more of these up. My God. Really exquisite. And we just have too many, I had too many windows open. Forgive me. Hold on a second here. Okay. I'm not going to be able to, oh. Let's just see if I can find a little bit more. Oh, there looks like there's an animation too, which I did not know that someone did, which now I'm going to download that. We're going to share that too. Goodness gracious, guys. You are all so very talented. Oh, this is great. This is really, really great. Let's share this one. So this is Julian and Damon. Just so good. This is all so good. You guys did a wonderful job. And I'm going to do some of the other art images. I can't do everybody's. I'm so sorry. Oh, this one's so cute of Arceus. All right, wait a minute here. And I can't download this one for some unknown reason. Oh, come on. I cannot download it. That is very sad. I don't understand this. So, Jody, I'm so sorry. Yours are not being allowed to me to actually download, and I don't know why. Huh. Ha 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 ha. Okay. All right, we are going to try to do, so one of the things that somebody sent was a movie. I'm going to see if I can add that. A little animation. And we're going to play that. This also, it's processing, so we got to wait a minute. So, Adam, did you have to, I mean, other than Balthazar, so you definitely would date Balthazar. And we think that Caemorn's a close second. Oh, Adam is checking out. He has to go. So Adam had to go.
I do. I am here though, so I will say goodbye to everybody. Thank you so much for joining and all your lovely questions, and happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Thank you, Adam.
Cheers. Take care, everyone.
Take care. Okay, so this. Oh my gosh. So that looks to be the scene where Damon breaks through from the other side. Let's watch this one more time, because honestly, I So that was really, really exquisite. So while we play an audio and I was going on about it, no one could hear me. That was great. So I was like going on and on. I have a moment. I need to fill up my glass with champagne again because I need more to drink. I'm sure that some of the actors probably need more to drink. So give us like 5 minutes. I'm going to put on the movie of the Elgar sneak peek, you guys. Elgar sneak peek. So please enjoy this.
When Eros died, I was there, on the battlefield with him. I felt his mind go. I felt his soul leave. Mine wanted to follow him, but I could not. I loved him. I was devoted to him. Not a romantic love. I see that question in your mind. He allowed me access to knowledge that I never thought I would have. He allowed me to learn to understand. He opened the doors of knowledge to me, and I cannot thank him enough. I wished to die when he did. I could not continue, but I did. I was covered under the bodies of the dead, and I just burrowed down into the earth, down into the darkness eternal. Soil and blood filled my mouth, and I rested there with the bones, with our master's body.
So good times, guys. That was amazing. So that was, I believe, Sophie's request. And we hear Edward playing the inimitable, the awesome, the amazing Elgar, who is a character who will come up later in our story. But for those who basically enjoy that, he is definitely a fan favorite. So hold on a second here. I've got to find our old image, the Halloween graphic. I feel like if I've missed something, you're going to have to forgive me. We will definitely share this stuff on the sites. We will also have, we'll have links and stuff for it. So everyone is coming up. So hold on a second here. So there's just, I'm so behind where everyone is in terms of the chat. So forgive me, not forgive us. It's all me. Okay. I think we've all heard the best Southern accent, which is, of course, Bruno's and Adam's. Everyone loves the drawings, you guys. Good Lord. And you're here with us. Okay. Hold on one second. Let me just get in touch with everybody. We're so happy you're here. I'm trying to put up some of the love on the screen so those of you can see it. Some Arceus love, Jay.
Oh, that's very sweet. Thank you.
Okay, so this is almost like what is that game? Basically, where it's like truth or dare. Everyone's gonna be like, wait, no, it's like what, we can't do truth. We have to tell the biggest lie. The biggest lie I've told. Oh God. I'm blanking on this. Jay, do you have one that that you've told that you can reveal that has not yet, or that would be okay to reveal?
You got me in a bit of a spot here. I'm trying to think.
I know.
That's a really good question. I'm sure there are. Obviously, I tell white lies.
Oh yeah.
But as far
Everyone
as
does.
a potentially, wow, I cannot think of a single thing. I know I have, but put on the spot, I can't think of any. I can't think of a genuine answer, and I can't think of a funny answer either.
I know. I'm like, I know there's been ones. that
Oh,
I've
I can
told.
think of so many answers, and I am not willing to share them with anyone.
Hannah.
You gotta save us here.
Here's come on.
Let's face it, that's the true answer to this question. Nobody's going to admit their biggest lie because it would hurt someone.
Yes, exactly. There's always the does this look good or did you enjoy that meal question that you sometimes have to bend the truth with. But
yes,
that's all I'm willing to admit to right now.
I know, it's like, oh. The sad thing is, I know that when I was a kid, I think I had this really large imagination. And so I sometimes couldn't remember what was true and what was something I imagined. And sometimes I feel like, when you get a good reaction and it's something you're lying about and you keep going with the lie because you were like, oh my God, that actually worked.
And then you can't backpedal out of it.
You can't backpedal out of it.
I get that. I get that. There's absolutely, with imaginations like ours, there's absolutely embellishments that have been made that you then just have to keep leaning into.
Exactly. And then you're like, how can I possibly walk this back and say, oh yeah, so not only did I originally lie, but I've been like lying now for hours, days, weeks. Yes. God. So there's a lot of stuff, guys, here for the person who did the animation. That was just amazing with the wolves. That was just so good. And then there was the Elgar people loving that. Champagne time. I know I actually didn't get up because I was like arranging things. I'm like paranoid. I'm going to like jolt something and we're going to lose everything. I'm still like caught on that basically, like, what was the biggest lie you've told? I feel like I'm just going to.
I can meet my publishing deadlines.
Yeah, it's hush you. Hush.
Oh no.
Okay. So
Shots have been fired.
right across the bow there.
I know what I'm doing.
I know what I'm doing. That's another one.
Yes,
That
I can
is
do a
another
Scottish
one.
accent.
Yes, I can.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you, Jay. You can. You work hard
can.
at it.
Everyone actually assumed you were Scottish, which I realized that. And there's people from all over the world. It's not just us Americans who were thinking you were Scottish. So.
Oh, it's very kind.
Yeah, they were like, oh yeah, and they really just thought that was totally natural. There's just so many here about Elgar's voice of just dying. Elgar will be coming up in, not soonish based on the, soonish from where you guys have actually been.
Chapter 87.
Oh Jesus, is that really where
is where
it
Elgar
is?
comes in? Thank you. We just finished recording
87,
it,
88,
guys.
89, yeah.
Oh my God.
You'll hear it in about a
felt
year.
Soon to me. Just as a reminder, everyone, Everdark is 140 chapters long. Yeah. I know. We had to do it. So I'm just going through all the Elgar. I'm just so freaking behind. I'm like looking. Everyone is like, the baby. And he's gonna be so like. He's just like he's very funny, and yet he's not intentionally, and then he becomes a real badass. Okay. This is something to know. Oh, we should do a little bit of business. For those of you who are not members of Raythe, but are wondering all about this, Everdark started as a written serial, and it is still a written serial on wraithrain.com. You get, if you were to sign up as a member, you get to read all 140 chapters of that, over 500,000 words. And also you would get, oh God, dozens of serials, including Dragon's Reign, many completed, also Everdark Academy, which is a continuation. And if you really are loving all the audio that we're doing, Dragon's Reign, Everdark, and Empire of Stars is now coming, because YouTube and all those other companies have made very clear that even if it's not visual, even reading the naughty bits, which would be perfectly acceptable on Audible, on Amazon, on Apple, on all of that normally, it's not acceptable on their podcast platform. So we have to chop now all the sexy bits. But if you are a member, you get a live stream ahead of time of Everdark. We're up to chapter 33 in the back end right now for people on Raythe. You can also purchase the audiobooks. There are currently 2 audiobooks. They're $25 a piece. For non-members, $10 a piece for members. There's also ebooks and hardbacks. The hardbacks are all signed by me. Kat, could you put a link in the comments so people can find that? A link to the membership sign up, and then like a membership sign up's like $9.95 a month for the most if you sign up month to month. And you'll get all of that stuff. It's amazing. Dozens of manga and all this really spectacular stuff. Also, the Discord link should be pinned on one of the pinned messages. Okay. So, Bruno, question. Is Bruno PFP a new Caemorn art we haven't seen yet. Yes, there is. Yes, it is. In fact, a new fan art you have not seen yet. It's not fan art, but it's art. It is actually the 3rd volume of the art, which I wanted to show, which I may show. Let's see if I can get it, because I did have it up, but now it's like really being annoying. Hold on a second, because you all came, you all deserve this. If I can find it. But I may not be able to find it. Oh, really? Really? It may not happen. I'm so sorry, guys. Because it just doesn't want to happen. Yeah. I'll take 2 more seconds to look for this thing. But if I cannot find it, I'm so sorry. And of course, it's just not coming up. Downloads. Okay. Ah! There we go. All right, so this is an exclusive, you guys. This is an exclusive to this live stream. We are going to see, this is going to be cover of volume 3. So there you go. You can check it out. Thank you for Raythe, can Balthazar feed from Caemorn? Yes, he could, but we're not going to talk about why, because I know that you asked something earlier, and we're just not going to talk about that. But you can feed from other vampires. It's just normally not done. Okay, this is to everyone. So whoever, question to everybody, would you do a D&D campaign together? I would say unanimously yes. I would love to do a D&D campaign together, but I know these guys...
In a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. I play like, right now I'm in a group where I play the equivalent of Captain Jack Sparrow. I'm a swashbuckling rogue with a heart of gold and also stealing your gold. So I that's who I'm playing right now. But I'm actually, I would love to do a D&D. Maybe we could try to see if we couldn't do like a one shot. I don't know, at one point to see if we could do it. I don't know.
I think that'd be an audio one shot live stream.
Yeah.
Well, it depends if
Yeah.
the fan wants it. We could do an Everdark themed one
That's
shot.
right. Yes.
Yeah.
Build the characters. Yeah.
I'll play Damon. What level am I?
You'll be dude.
All the levels.
You're a little OP there. A little
All
OP.
the levels. Yeah.
On all the levels. Yeah, no doubt. Oh my God. All right, we'll think on that. We'll think on that, guys. If you want that, please let us know. That would be something we would do, either in Everdark or just a one shot that, you know, from anything. Because I know that there are a couple of GMs or DMs in our group. Jay, are you a dungeon master as well? I know Edward is. Yeah.
I am. I'm a dungeon master, and I write like 4 new one shots every month.
That's okay. All right. So now I'm like, yeah, this could happen.
Edward and I could have a fight over who's gonna DM, or you could DM yourself, Raythe.
I have DM'd. I don't know the rules well enough. I was
right.
more like
rules.
a
Who cares?
Rules are made
Always
to
more
be.
important. I'm one of those players.
Excellent. Well, it's more fun. Like when I DM'd, let's put it this way, they ended up being able to befriend every single monster, including this 2-headed orc named Morgan Orc that they called them. I had to finally make it run away because I was like, it was killing everything. It would like smash everything to paste for them. And I was like, guys, like Morgan Orc, do it. And that's what happened. So yes, there seems to be, could you imagine them doing a D&D game? Yes, it would be amazing. It would be amazing.
Morgan Orc. Oh, funny.
Yes.
If you think wrangling cats as you're trying to read for people is tough. Just imagine trying to wrangle the cast as we play all sorts of rambunctious characters.
I
Am I
just love
drunk
that
yet?
idea.
Can I
Am I
get drunk?
drunk?
Am I drunk? I cast magic missile at the darkness.
Oh, I love it. At least you
I
don't
think we're
have
showing our age
characters. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. Okay, so what pop culture vampire content would Everdark characters watch? Okay, Jay, what do you think Arceus would watch of the current Everdark content that's out there? Like, I guess Vampire Diaries or whatever else is going on.
The first thing that genuinely came to mind, it isn't vampire content. You know those videos that people take on the front of ships or planes or trains? Those soothing videos of just things moving through
Yes.
landscapes. I feel like that's how Arceus would unwind and sometimes watch and go, "Oh, I've been there, I've seen that."
I love it.
That
No,
sort of
don't
thing.
lie. He likes the Dr. Pimple Popper videos.
Oh, yuck. Oh.
Oh God.
I know people like those, but I can't. Oh,
I love
God.
those. I love those so much. Dr. Pimple
Hannah!
Popper. I'm all for it.
No.
And I think I definitely think Sophia would be watching What We Do in the Shadows.
Yes, I think she absolutely would. I love that. I think, I had a very hot take that I think people absolutely hated, especially. Have you guys seen on, I don't know if I'm sure you must get it probably up in Canada, but an A&E Plus, they redid Interview with a Vampire by, yes.
It's not here yet. I'm waiting for it to arrive so I can watch it, but I can't tell you anything about it yet.
So I probably, a lot of people think it was a terrible hot take because it wasn't nuanced, but I'm going to say it anyway. For those of you who have read the book, and the actual series is a bit different. They actually put a lot of money towards this, and they made the gay explicit. There's lots of weird, like nudity, male nudity,
Finally,
all over
the gay is
place.
explicit.
Yes.
They
The
need to
technical
finally.
term, Raythe, is dudity.
Yes, nudity. All right, excellent. So, and they're very, very beautiful. It's very well written. They clearly read all the books, and they tried to actually make Lestat, because the Lestat in Interview with the Vampire and Lestat and Vampire Lestat are two different people, by the way. It's clear that she didn't intend, and having been a writer and done that, I get that what they did was they actually brought the Lestat from the later books into this earlier book. And the actor who's doing that, it's funny because he seems very vacant as a person, though I know he's not, but he's excellent as this vampire. Anyway, so I have this take on it, and I'm curious if you guys do watch it at some point. I used to love Interview with a Vampire because it was probably the first, I would say, official type of book where it had gay content and vampires in it that I read. And I was just floored that was out there, that was like, I was like, wow, so this could really happen. We could really have this in a real book, blah, 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 blah. When I watched this series, like which I say, beautiful, beautifully written, beautifully done, beautifully acted, I have hated it. And the reason is, and I know that everyone's going to say, well, it's of the time and it's of the, because they're doing it, they shifted it to 1910s New Orleans. They made Louis a black man, and they made, this really interesting race and, gay culture and all this kind of stuff that they added in. And believe me, it was all beautifully done. And yet I still hated it because I feel that the book, whether I'm right or not, basically says that if you try to make a found family, it's going to always fail. It's going to end in tragedy and death. And it's like, I feel, and I know that Anne Rice had a lot going on with her at this time, and everyone's going to say, that's not what this is about. But I realized that we see so much gay content with this idea of bury your gays and all this kind of stuff. I mean, this is like, there's legit reasons for why this thing is as it is, other than what I'm going to say. But for me, viscerally, I hated it. And I signed up for A&E to watch this. And it really, I want to support it because they did such a good job on it. But this idea that somehow, even though they earn the terrible ending, I guess they have together, as it really bothered me. So it was a fascinating thing for me to sit there and be like, I can't watch this. I can't consume this because I'm so tired of seeing gay people's romances end in tragedy and death. And I know that people do not agree with me at all with this story. There's lots of nuance that I'm not getting, but it was interesting to see it out there, and yet I just cannot enjoy it, and I'm really sad about it. So I'm curious if you guys do watch it in the future, what you'll think. I don't know if any of you have read the books or seen the movie back when it was Tom Cruise. Hannah, Edward, did you?
I'm sorry, repeat the question?
Oh, if you had read the books or seen the movie with Tom Cruise.
Oh,
So no.
yeah, obviously. I was probably about 14 when it first came out.
Yeah.
And remember, I was too young to go see it in the movie theaters here in Canada. So I had to get my parents to buy my friends and I tickets because it was like, I think it was like 15 plus or something like that, something stupid like that, even though there was like zero nudity, zero, and compared to what kids see today, like
I
zero
know.
violence. So yeah, I saw it when it came out in the theaters with all my underage friends because my parents got us tickets.
Absolutely.
My cool parents got us tickets.
So Edward, you had a reaction to when I told you that A&E was redoing it. Is there some reason that you can talk about that or your thoughts on that?
No official comment, but I absolutely
Okay.
agree with you, Raythe, that the fetishizing of, in this case, gay lifestyles or gay people for it felt like the consumption of heterosexual people. It's that fetishizing of it. Of like, ooh,
It's the weird-
like
it's
people
the
when they
weird
go to San
Christian-
Francisco and take pictures
Yeah.
with their kids with, let's go take pictures with the gays. And
It's the weird
find it so
religious
awful.
values of it that,
Yeah.
because it was a homosexual relationship, that in the end it can't possibly have a happy ending.
No, and I mean, she wrote this 1973 too, so there's something to come up. And I came up during the time where, unfortunately, gay AIDS was killing so many gay people everywhere. It was just so devastating, and just, I don't know, it just feels like it's all wrapped up in that, because that's when I was reading it later on in life.
Yeah.
And I understand they've done this. They did a really good job, but I hate it. And I know other people don't, but I just can't. I can't do it, I guess. And I know I shouldn't be like hating on this poor thing. I'm sure people love it, so forgive me, guys. But I'm glad that I'm not the only one who has thoughts.
They're especially Lestat are pretty horrible people. I
Yes.
mean, morally and ethically, they're not good.
And by the way, they play Lestat as if he's an alien.
Oh,
which
in the new
is-
one?
Yes, he's like
Oh.
alien.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
It's
Yeah,
not great.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Ray. It's beautifully
I
acted, beautifully shot, lots of money in it. And I think we're in a nuanced space here where we can have these conversations and appreciate differences, perhaps not agree, but still listen to each other. I think that's important.
Yes, I totally agree. Man. So, this is our dream, Edward. Raythe, if somebody offered, would you allow Everdark to be made into a TV series or movie? Yes, of course. Although, I actually have a story about an option that was made for the Artifact, which is a contemporary but gay supernatural story I wrote. And I was really surprised. This person is actually a well-known producer in Hollywood. And they approached, and I didn't go anywhere, but I actually got to the point of actually talking to a lawyer who was very knowledgeable about this stuff, because one of the things that you've got to know is, as an author, once you sign that option, you're done. Whatever money you get is the money you're getting. This idea that you'll get something at the end never happens, and the idea that you have any control, you don't. And you have to secure, even like, for example, the rights to be able to use, like if they have, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there'll be a TV series of a book, and all of a sudden you'll see those actors on the cover. You have to arrange that all in advance. So it's actually a really interesting thing. But I said, I feel very strongly that I don't want them to change this from being, it's a gay supernatural occult story. And the lawyer said to me, he is just like, you will not be able to do that unless you're just, you probably won't be able to do that. Once they get these rights, they'll be able to change it however they want.
Yeah, the producers will end up changing it when it gets to network.
Right.
Which sucks.
And he said, but another thing that he has seen, which was interesting to me, is that there would be 2 movies done. One would likely be with a cishet heterosexual couple, and another which would fund a smaller, lesser work, I don't know if you call it lesser, but the actual work the producer wanted to do, which would be a gay version of it or something else. That has happened, that he'd had that happen. But so one of the things, this idea I think that we have in the world that, an author, a creator of a work has so much control once you sell the option on your work, is not true. And I know that obviously Hannah just expressed this, but I'm sure Edward and Anna can talk, because, much more intelligently about this than I can. But literally, I would have no control.
Well, I mean,
all.
I said that I would work with you if we could
Yes.
find $10 million, preferably,
Yeah.
but we could probably do it for $3 or $4 million
Yep.
to do an animated series and keep it gay.
Yeah. So that was something that we talked about, if that does happen, because we have been approached before. I have been approached before. But now that actually I have this, thankfully, resource in Hannah, it would be far different. Because that was one thing that I was deeply concerned about, because I think there's wonderful heterosexual romance out there, and they're great. Why take this story and make it into that? You know what I mean? Would it even be recognizable? Who the hell knows? But that would not be something I'd want to do. But of course, you say that, and then they're like, here's a lot of money. But there's never a lot of money for the author. But, there we go.
That's true. There's never a lot of money for artists in general.
No.
The producers make everything.
That's exactly right. So that was just an interesting thing that happened. And I was educated in a lot of ways, because I had been because one of the things that I've always wanted to do is to do live action, as Hannah knows and Edward knows. I'm very much like, this is the first step to doing something like that and getting the kind of money that we would need to do something like that. But if we sell the rights and we don't have all the control, unless Hannah is like, yeah, we can make this work to get this kind of, you just lose all control. So it's a fun thing to think about, I think, but I don't know. And I also think, and this is, guys, something to keep in mind, that, and just sort of the hard, cold way of it, I am not a gay man. I am a bisexual woman, but I am not a gay man. And they would perhaps have a problem with me, a bisexual woman, writing gay romance. That's not the story that they necessarily want to tell about an author that they're working with. So that's another aspect of it, that they would feel like this isn't own voices because I am a woman. So that's another whole aspect of it that would come into. So, yay.
Well, that got dark and
I'm
sad.
so sorry. That really did. I just Jesus, I gotta stop talking about
That
this
just
stuff.
got truthful. That was
Yeah,
just truth.
yeah.
That wasn't dark or anything. It was just pragmatic.
I know. I think that, so the thing is, I want to do it myself, because it's really the only way I feel that we would get it would be done the way I think the fans would want it to be done. But we need to find the money. I mean, that's the whole thing, right? We need to find the money. So that's something to just keep out there. If we're going to do it, I think the only way to ensure that it will still be the story you know and love is if it doesn't leave our control. Someone asked, okay, I have a quick question for you about Dragon's Reign. When you hungry or on a diet? Because the description of the food was out of this world. I am never on a diet, my dear. That is why I love food. I cook. I cook. Oh, like, hold on a second. And that's not what I'm. Caemorn art. Okay, sorry guys. To the cast. From what has been released on the website, that's up to chapter 33. So that's like volume 2. So that goes, God, what does that go to? What scene has been the most entertaining for you to record thus far? Jay, can you tell us? Jay and Bruno, why don't you answer that one?
I don't know if 33. I'll say the William stuff is very silly fun to record.
I actually loved how you remember that scene with Balthazar when he's like telling him he's a king? It's like he acts like a king, that one.
Yeah.
And
I do very much enjoy the back and forth of Balthazar and Arceus, especially when Arceus is being just a little bit sassy.
He's definitely sassy.
But the William stuff is just silly fun to record.
It's so true. So Bruno, I know that there's only been really one big chapter. Well, one big chapter with Caemorn in the beginning part of this story, which is why, ironically enough, Hannah thought that Caemorn was not a large character. I'm like, oh no, he is. What was it like? What was it like to face down Timothy and know that you were going to basically steal his soul? Was that fun? Did you enjoy that too?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, every Caemorn scene is a lot of fun because you're playing with manipulation. You know more than the character you're talking to, and Caemorn thinks he's always one step ahead of everybody else. So it's always fun to play with that arrogance and the fact that you think you can sort of reel another character in and then let them loose, with your portrayal of power. So every Caemorn scene has been fun because he's a typical villain on the surface, and then I'm playing with lots of levels underneath that's suggesting things that are, when we move forward with the plot. So it's always fun.
It's very true. I mean, that's like, I think what I love playing when I'm writing Caemorn is that I get to be that person that was like, I don't have to bear with their, what is that? Oh God, I can't think of the phrase, but it basically is the one where it's just like, I can't bear stupidity, and he just doesn't. He's just like, no, you're dead. No, out of my way. This is how it's going to be. Okay, here we go. Let's see. That is the Everdark in the background. Let's see this. Raythe, if you were casting an Everdark series movie, who would you cast as the main characters? Well, I know that Edward wants to be Balthazar, but I don't actually know. I mean, what do you guys think? Knowing these characters, do you think of any actors that would be particularly suited for it? What do you guys think? Like, Hannah, what do you think? Anyone that you can think of?
Oh my God, that's so hard.
It is hard.
Oh, because I see these actors come in, these voice actors come in every single day and work their hardest. And I know that most of us would probably never get cast as the characters we're playing based on our physical appearance.
But they wouldn't be as good as you guys. So that's the thing. That's what's.
I mean, I like to think that all actors.
We'll keep working for it then. Yeah.
And maybe we would get to play other characters if there was a television series, but probably not the characters we're currently.
I get you.
Do you know the girl who plays Lisa in Bob's Burgers?
Yeah.
I would love for her to play Sophia.
Oh. Yeah, I could see that. There's all this stuff, by the way, about D&D, guys. This looks like everyone wants that.
Oh, somebody mentioned Tom Hiddleston as Caemorn.
Oh, yes, he would be perfect as Caemorn. He could actually be his normal hair color instead of black hair. I did not, when I saw him with the blonde, like the blonde dark, like brown, I thought he dyed it because it didn't look right. I was like, oh.
He has enough work. Give it to me.
I know. I think so. I think it should
Yeah,
get to you.
look, I mean,
I kind of want a Skarsgård in that role. I don't know why.
oh, you know what
Really?
Skarsgård
No,
is
Viggo
really
Mortensen.
good?
I want
The
Viggo
young
Mortensen.
Skarsgård. What's his name? Bill Skarsgård, the young one who did It, who played Pennywise in It.
Right. Yes.
He is
yes.
such a, you know what? At some point he went and got acting lessons and he's so good.
Yes. He
He's
really
so,
is.
He's actually like he does a lot of like indie stuff now, and he's such a good actor. And I don't think he gets quite the amount of praise he probably should, because his older brother I think is super good looking and works on like the muscles.
Yes, exactly. No,
Yeah.
that's very true. But that's like the Hemsworth brothers too. I always feel bad for the other one, the non-Chris one.
You know,
Oh, I
Liam.
know.
the
Chris
one guy.
Hemsworth is great though. I mean,
He
he's
is.
hilarious.
Three of them, yeah.
I can't not like him.
Yeah, the D&D stuff, gosh, they really want us to do this. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's exactly how I do wake up. Yeah. Okay, 1 second here. I am so behind on the comments, guys. I know I say this every time, and I keep saying this. Caemorn. Hold on a second here. Oh, I think this is true. Balthazar would watch Ghost Adventures and make fun of it. Yes, he would. And then he'd get scared. Because then he'd be like, wait, did I hear something? Oh, let's see here.
I kind of want Idris Elba for Balthazar.
Oh,
Yes.
Idris
Oh,
Elba.
that's just where I am right
interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, somebody mentioned, let's see, who else? What are people mentioning? Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller's in a little bit of trouble right now.
Yeah,
I don't think he'll
he's
be
like,
available.
I mean, he really does think that as the Flash, he's like some kind of Jesus-like figure, which is like,
He's in some like legal
yeah.
trouble with a lot of underage
yes.
people, so maybe not him. He's not going to be available. Let's put it
I
that
think
way.
so. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be
He
available.
won't be available. Jason Momoa, well, Jason Momoa can play anything as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, I know. Oh, he could
For
definitely play
Arceus,
something.
what do you think?
Oh yeah,
Arceus, he would be very
I mean,
good.
Gerard Butler has convincingly played a vampire before, so why not just let him have another go?
Oh,
You know what?
I've got his audition tape for
Did you
that
see
role.
his
Yeah,
audition for
exactly,
that?
Dreadful.
exactly. It
Fam,
is
all the
hilarious.
Wraith fans, if you
Terrible
have
wig, and yeah.
If you have a chance to watch Gerard, you can go on YouTube and watch Gerard Butler's audition for, what is it, Vampire Dracula 2000?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Hilarious.
I just, one of the things that I've always laughed about, like, other than the television shows, the vampire shows, but all the vampire movies have really missed out on the romance. Like, Dracula Untold, the last one, I can't think of the name of that actor. He always looks nice, but he is like there's nothing going on behind his eyes, and I don't believe for a second he loves that woman. I mean, sorry, I shouldn't say that, but it was like, just going through that. I'm being mean. I'm being mean.
What's the name of the actor in the Hangover? Bradley Cooper, is it?
Yes, Bradley
He's
Cooper.
made a huge career out of things.
Yes.
Give him a role.
Yes. Yeah, this is like somebody's talking about. I love it, I hate it. I love it, but it's horrible. This is all about that stuff about that.
Channing Tatum as Balthazar.
Channing
Guys,
Tatum is
no,
Balthazar.
not Balthazar,
No.
please. You can't even do a British accent.
That's
Oh,
the point.
God.
So
That would be so awful.
he's so
I just-
hot. I mean, if there was like a stripper vampire, maybe.
Are there non-stripper vampires in this series?
Oh, God.
Channing Tatum could probably play William.
Yeah, he could. It's just a little old, but yeah.
Maybe
I'd
Ray.
love to see
Maybe
that.
Ray.
Although he was actually really adorable in the Sandra Bullock movie. I don't like rom-coms, but the two of them together, because he played like basically a dumb dude bro, but
Don't get me wrong.
charming.
I love Channing Tatum, but he is a dude bro. I mean, there's no other way to.
Yes. I love this. Okay, I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it, guys.
All right, final one. Tom Hardy as Caemorn.
Oh, yeah, I
I
can see
love
that.
Tom Hardy in anything, but he's not
He
Caemorn.
can be
He'd be more of a
very
Damon.
elegant.
He'd be
Is
more
he?
of a Damon.
It's too short for Damon.
I just don't know who could play
about a
Damon.
Rock?
The Rock will be playing Damon.
That's about the size he'd have to be. Although I don't
Yeah.
know if The Rock is tall enough.
I feel like Damon needs to be like thinner though. Just
What
like
about,
really like lean.
Henry Cavill could play Damon by the looks.
Oh,
but
yeah.
he just seems like a cold bastard. Beautiful, but just
Henry Cavill would be great.
Yeah.
You give him a good director and he's good.
Yeah. I could see that. And he's built like him, so it would definitely work.
And he's a big nerd, so that helps too.
And he is
Ooh,
a big
Meryl
nerd.
Streep for Seeyr. Oh yeah.
Oh, that would be good. That would be very, very good.
Meryl Streep is anyone. She could play.
Is
Sophia
it
probably.
wrong that my brain has just wanted to cast all these sort of het male alpha figures in a gay romance?
I know.
Danny
Oh, he's
DeVito as Damon. Danny DeVito.
Danny
as Damon.
DeVito.
No. Arnold Schwarzenegger with lots of kissing.
Sophie's like, let's go Kickstarter. 10 million is nothing. Yes, but we'd have to be that popular.
Vin
my
Diesel. I
darling.
cannot tell you how much I would love to work with Vin Diesel one day for any
He
reason.
is a businessman. I mean,
Yeah,
he truly
for
is.
any reason. I don't know what
And
it
a
is
big
about
D
him,
and D nerd too.
but
Yes.
maybe
You know-
I like him.
Yeah, I do too. I feel like I really do like him. I'm interesting because The Rock, was threw his hat in the ring for DC, and he got totally shut down. I can't believe they gave it to the director of Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm blanking on this. Anyway, but I will not have you guys talk because I'm sure all that's being. I'm trying to get to the questions, guys. I'm like 50,000 years behind it. So, as a gay man, that's so stupid, to be honest. You are a queer woman, no queer experiences. Production companies are the worst. Yes, but it's just not going back to my thing about, I'm just not as exciting. And I'm a fat queer woman, by the way. I say that with pride. So that would be all other sorts of problems with that. I'm just not sexy in any way. Okay. Oh, all right. I think just not so much about Discovery of Witches, although I really like that show. But I always think, but those who are unfamiliar, like anyone who wants to answer this one, how do you think that, the vampires in Everdark would relate to the vampires in art as they currently are? Do you think that they would like that? Do you think that they would be pointing out all that's wrong? Or how do you think they'd react to it?
As the train slowly passes.
No, leave me alone. I'm right by the train. You have to understand, this is what Kat has to edit out when I do my, stuff. Where it used to be the cat, the train, another train.
Another one. I think vampires would be horrified by those depictions of vampires.
Oh. Because I was thinking that they would like it to a certain, like Balthazar would nitpick, but he would like that at least they're becoming romantic leads because that's what they are.
Yeah, but are they? Are they?
Are
Do
they?
they ever get a happy ending?
That's true. They normally get burned to a crisp.
They're
so.
tortured and they're outcast and yeah.
Awesome. All right, Jay, this is a question for you. If you could have a conversation with Arceus, what would you ask him about?
Ooh, favorite place to go in Scotland, how he gets his beard to be so filled in, and where's he going with all that?
Oh, God.
I just wanted
missed it.
I love the Scottish act. Like I love James McAvoy and like just anyone with a solid, just kind of natural Scottish act. David Tennant, all those sort of people with what's her name, from Avengers.
Ewan McGregor.
Yes, Ewan McGregor as well. We're looking at sea otters. And yeah, I just love the Scottish accent. It's just so beautiful. to me. So I just want him to talk the whole time. And
It's
Gerard Butler as
fun.
well. Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh yes. So for the cast in general, when you record, do you all get together physically or online, or do you record your parts separately and then put them together in order? So
If
Hannah,
Edward and I got
Yeah,
into
go
a
ahead.
room to record together, we wouldn't get any work done. So
Yeah.
we've had to be
Ooh.
separated.
Permanently.
Yeah.
They all have to be separated. They could never work together.
Yep.
It would take us days to get
Yeah.
one scene done.
Yeah,
They're
I
too
keep getting
funny.
notes like, oh, are you going to do it like that? All right, it's fine. That's a choice. It's a choice.
So you just got some love, you guys. I cannot think of anyone being your characters other than the voices we all know and
Oh,
love.
thank you.
So that is
Thank you so
that is
much.
very true.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. It really does.
I mean, I certainly would play the role of Damon if Henry Cavill wasn't up for it, but I'm afraid I'm just too good looking. It would
Yes.
detract from the role. So that's unfortunately why I don't get as much work as I should.
Oh God.
Biggest lie you ever told.
The biggest lie you ever told. There we go. No.
Oh,
I-
guys, we forgot one actor. I'm sorry, I'm going to bring this up.
What?
Jonathan Rhys-Meyers.
Oh.
I love
no?
him. He is
No.
such a good actor. Yeah. You can't negate him. He's so
Just
good.
did.
You guys are just jealous.
Nice.
Just jealous.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know. I fear his beauty and his talent, okay? It's not fair.
He is beautiful.
There's that. But they're not as into it. They've not put their
John
whole
Barrowman,
trust
what a
in-
great suggestion.
Oh, he is a great suggestion.
He
yes.
is, yeah.
Oh, he'd be great.
And he
yeah.
can sing and dance too.
Yeah, he is pretty fantastic.
He's a little bit older though now. I like, because I always have him stuck in
He
my
is,
head younger. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always got him stuck in my head as 40 forever, but I think he's more.
I feel like if we can unage actors now digitally, like Johnny
True.
Depp got to play like the young Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean, we can do that with anyone. For a
You're
whole
right.
movie if we want.
I don't know if you guys saw, the Luke Skywalker that they did actually in The Mandalorian. Not that first one, but later on in the series. The first one was awful they did, but the later on when he's actually moving, I was like, I thought that was real. It was wild. So they can do it. That's pretty wild. All right, to all the cast, all the characters evolve and change as Everdark has progressed, which is probably my fault. Which character or characters have surprised you the most? Bruno, which character or characters surprised you the most, do you think, and the changes they've made?
Well, there's Christian, who has to accept the supernatural aspect of the world that he never expected. Being more intimately involved with Caemorn, Caemorn's changes, which I'll try not to spoil. He goes through a journey. But I mean, with any character that any writer sets out to write, there has to be a journey. They have to be different from the start to the end. So every character will evolve and change. That's just the necessity of the genre, I think.
I think, some actors do method acting. I do method writing where I need to spend time in that character's skin, and I don't really know them until I've written a bunch. And so all of a sudden they start shifting and changing, and they're going to want to be what they want to be. Caemorn was one of those, which ended up being the best surprise ever. And that's always how it is, to be honest with you. Yeah. So, Jay, what about the characters? Well, I think I know William's the character that surprised you. And why did William surprise you?
William's a lot of fun. I would say more so, and again, moving further on to things that haven't been released yet, but both Caemorn and Balthazar have the most interesting kind of evolutions and changes for me.
Yes.
I think just reading it. Yeah, that's all I'll say. And William kind of goes from being one thing to being another thing. But yeah, Balthazar and Caemorn are so fascinating to read.
Yeah, especially as they They are definitely in Everdark, that academy that continues with very surprising things that happen. Yes, it gets really interesting. So a question, I guess this would be for Edward. I have no clue if this question was answered because I had to leave. But does Balthazar ever get hurt in the Everdark? And if he doesn't, I will write fan fiction about him getting hurt. Hurt? You don't want him to be hurt? No, 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 no. But he did get hurt a bit with his throat was sore, right, Edward? After Damon throttled him like a
Crushed him against
kitten.
the wall after showing up as a horde of wolves.
Yes.
I think Balthazar is hurt a lot, but it's emotional. It's psychological.
Yes.
He is
yes.
frequently hiding his feels because he feels so much.
Yes, he is still dealing with that. I think, one of the things that I was surprised with when I wrote Academy was I was focusing on some different immortals. And yet it's now become like the Caemorn and Balthazar show. And
what
they're
else
like,
is there really?
really, what could there possibly be?
Damn you, Caemorn.
But it's like they have so much still to go through, and they really haven't, to be honest with you, worked it out for the end. So there is, that just keeps going, and it's really their story is the story of the Everdark. Would you ever have a plus side protagonist in the story? I would love to have some representation. I think you're right. I think I do need to do that. I am plus size myself and have always been and always will be, I think. I absolutely should do that. I think Corey is the closest. Corey is a great character in the Merman and the Sea stories. So if you haven't checked that out, do check that out. Corey is a lover and a fighter and he's just the best guy ever. Okay, hold on a second here. Okay. I wish I could just be better at this. By the way, how much more time do I have of yours? I feel like I'm keeping you forever. Just let me know when you have to go. Don't even worry about it.
Are we doing more fanfic, or did I miss that?
We should do some more fanfic. Do you think? I think we did.
And you can catch up on the chat. Oh, hang on, no, you're in this one.
No, I can't be in this one. It's got to be. This is scene 5. This is Sophia Hannah. So this is Hannah Sophia
Hannah. Let's hear from Hannah.
Giving you the rose. It's giving you the rose on the Immortal Consort Vampire Dating Show ASMR roleplay. So, Hannah, are you ready to do it? So I can get caught up in the chat.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just going to explain one thing to you guys. Hannah is about 2 octaves higher than my natural voice. I am like 45 years old. So I'm going to try my best to do this ASMR for you, but it's going to be really hard because I have to get loud to do this. And you're going to see how much our editor, Matt Prince, if you're out there, if you're listening, is so integral to our process. So here I go. I'll give it a go for you guys.
Standing by.
Roll it. Oh. Are we good?
Go.
We're down. Okay. We're down to the final 3. Oh, I cannot wait to give someone this thorny rose, the symbol of our upcoming bond of blood. I'm going to start with Chris. Chris, you respected me even though I look like super young, when I am in fact way, way older than you. You did nothing to offend me, unlike some of the other contestants. That's why they're not here anymore. And I think you're pretty cute, but maybe not cute enough for eternity. Moving on. Justin. I like a mature man, which is why you're still around. The fact that you managed to get so rich in your puny human lifespan is impressive. Not as much as me, of course. You gave me a beautiful bracelet, and obviously you know how to treat a lady, but I really don't think you're vampire material. Next!
And then there's you. You intrigue me. You actually played hard to get. I mean, I didn't even remember your name until halfway through the season. Then again, I meet a lot of people, so it's hard to keep those mortals straight. I could say something about your surprising intellect and love of life, but the truth is, you're like really cute. And you have pretty eyes that should be preserved for all eternity. To you, I give the rose and the bite.
I loved that. Oh my God.
Whoever decided to do The Bachelor, amazing.
Amazing. And then it's Sophia. Amazing. Because that's just what you captured her. I can't believe you did that voice. 'Cause knowing your real voice now and hearing you do her, I would never have thought it was you. Oh my
For
God.
years and years, you know, I got my start on the stage. And for years and years, I was always told when I was in my 20s, don't worry, when you're 40, you're going to hit your stride. You're going to play all the leading ladies. You're going to be the Lady Macbeths. You're going to be the Mad Margarets. And I was like, yes, one day. And I am still playing
Waiting. Oh,
20-year-olds.
No. Still the ingenue, huh?
Still
my
doing it. I don't look
God.
like it anymore, unfortunately. So, you know, voicing it instead.
Well, it's just, I mean, it was just perfect because when I heard Sophia in my head, that's what I heard. And you got that hint, that edge on her. In all honesty, like, you know, she is adorable, but she's like terrifying. I really do. I mean, she sees the future and she, as we'll find out, can take people down, even though she looks like a little anime schoolgirl. Thank you, Paloma.
To be fair, you write her exactly as she sounds. So it's really easy for me as an actor to see to hear in my head exactly how you want it.
Awesome. Well,
write it
this
that way.
person really captured her perfectly too. So I'm blown away by this. Yes, this was just everyone saying like, Sophia, that was amazing. Yes, that was awesome. Okay. Before we go on to another one, we should do another one. Although someone has to play Adam's role. Bruno, I want to know what you and Caemorn would talk about if given the chance.
I guess I would ask him about the world he lives in and why he's doing what he's doing, and you know, and if I wanted to be really cynical, how he manipulates people, I guess.
I know, like, how do you do it? CJ, I think you put this out a few times. To everyone who wakes up and think God has let me live another day and I'm going to make it everyone's problem. That's sort of a Caemorn thought. That's a
Caemorn motif, isn't it? Yeah. It's, I'm not satisfied, so I'm going to make everybody else miserable and work for it.
Miserable. Oh yes. So do we want to do? Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm unfortunately I set my time 6 to 8.
No. Of course you have to go.
So I just want to say thank you to everybody, all the comments. I'm sorry you didn't happen to hear Caemorn, but I'm glad you loved the cop. What a treat for me it was.
Oh, great. Well, thank you so much for coming. This was just so lovely.
Absolutely. Oh, it was wonderful. It was brilliant, and it was a joy to read all the comments. It's amazing. What a community.
Yes, they really are the best. They absolutely are. All right, well, you take care of yourself, Bruno. We'll talk soon.
Yes, you too, everybody else, and thank you, and happy Halloween, and have a nice weekend, and yeah, love to you all. Cheers.
Cheers. So the love for Bruno. There's just like so many people saying goodnight. Do we have a little bit more time, Jay, Hannah, and Edward?
Absolutely.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, we're good. We're still here. You know, some people have things to get to, but we're boring and old.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being boring and old. We like this.
Maybe not Jay. Jay's actually quite young. He's way younger than he sounds.
Oh.
I was going to say, I'll go with boring, and I guess still kind of young for another week, I guess.
What is there a big birthday coming up for you?
Oh yeah, and a decent enough birthday, yeah.
You're a Halloween baby?
No, the week after. So a week and a bit.
Close enough. Close enough.
Yeah.
You know, I always think that you never. My mom told me this, and I didn't believe her until I suddenly am at the age where she seemed to be forever. She said, "I keep thinking I'm 18 until I look in the mirror or get up from a chair." So, yes, basically, and people are wishing you happy birthday. I think that's
Thank
true.
you. Thank you.
Yes, they were like, yeah. Sometimes this goes so fast and it's like hard to keep up. So excellent. Happy birthday, Jay. Yeah. I think, if the big birthdays, if you are like doing what you're supposed to be doing, you feel like you're in a good place, they don't matter. But if you think you are not, yeah, I love it. You guys think you're boring. You do realize there are people in the chat just for you guys. It's 5 a.m. for me, and I'm here because it's the most interesting, best place to be right now. We love you, Sophie. We love you. We are not boring at all. You guys are not boring. This is pretty, to be honest with you, when I think about the fact that we're with people who are excited about what we're creating, that's a pretty big, to be honest with you, it's a pretty big deal.
Oh man, so many
I know!
birthday wishes.
I know!
I don't. This is why I should jump back on social media.
I know exactly. Like,
thank you
woo-hoo!
all. Thank you all.
The hearts, the hearts, the hearts. I think that yeah, no. I mean, I always think of myself as just like one of them, and then to think when people say that it's meaningful to them, it's sort of like weird. I'm like, oh, God.
I think a lot of times, people forget that actors, I mean, yes, this is what we do for a living. We're artists, but we are just people. And we have regular lives. And they're not really glamorous. They're not
I don't.
glamorous.
I don't. It's all champagne and fast cars and
He wishes
yes.
it was.
Absolutely. I wish. Oh my God. Yes. Let me just interrupt at this moment for Raythe will be opening for more orders for book 2. Ingram Spark is being a bastard. They have not yet approved the print, even though it's perfectly fine because they're so behind. I'm waiting for them to just prove it. Once they approve it, I'm gonna be ordering a ton of the books. And one of the things that I might do at one point, depending on where we are, is I might ask if you guys are willing to do it, is that maybe Edward or Hannah or Jay or Bruno, any of them to sign books. Like I'd ship them up to you, and if you'd sign them as gifts to people, obviously.
I was gonna actually email you about this, so we'll talk about this and something else as well.
Great.
Sound good? Surprising.
That sounds great.
We'll surprise the fans. You guys can wait in bated breath as to what we're about to do.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds perfect. Okay, so a question to Edward. Out of the vampires you've seen in media outside of Everdark, do you think there is anyone who can beat Damon in a fight?
No.
No,
I am
think so
king. I think the closest is. Do you remember? What was it Queen of the Damned? Do you remember that film adaptation of the Anne Rice novel?
Yeah.
She's the closest, but yeah, not even.
Yeah, that's about it. I know, and she was like one of the originals, so it's like, oh. So, to everyone, how long does it take for you to get into the groove of a new character? Jay, how long does it take you?
Usually ideas start forming when I read them, and then get into the booth and throw a whole bunch of them out there. And Hannah kindly helps with with picking which ones are going to stick, which ones sound most like what the character kind of reads as. And then swapping between the characters is usually pretty easy. Sometimes a voice reference helps to just dip back in, especially when you're going from Arceus down low up to William and other various characters that are peppered in and out there. But yeah, usually just throw a couple of ideas, 2 or 3 ideas at the wall, and pick the best one for each character. That's how it's kind of come about.
It's when I write things, obviously I hear them in my head, and then I wish I had even a fraction of your guys' gifts, because when I was doing Dragon's Reign, I could like hear the character in my head, but when I tried to speak it, it was like, no, no, that's no. So Edward, your voice makes this person think you live like James Bond. I think everyone wants a voice
Which
like
James
that.
Bond?
Oh,
Thank
good
you very
point.
much. That's very kind of you. But again, which one?
Obviously, Sean Connery. There's only
Obviously, there's only one.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I really liked,
Detective
Daniel Craig in Casino Royale.
Yeah, but he of the Bond lives the most miserable life. I mean, you want to
He
talk about
is.
all of the women he
does.
loved get murdered or betray him, and he's always looking haggard and beat down. Great suits, though.
Oh, he wears a suit like nobody's business. Honestly, I'm like, those suits are just perfect on him.
I
And the
happen
fact that
to
he,
know. I happen to know that Edward has a cologne that is in the James Bond books. That is the one that
Really?
James Bond wears.
Yes, that's true.
He does.
I've always
He
seen
smells like
Edward as
James
more
Bond.
of
You guys
a.
aren't that far off.
I've always seen Edward as more of a Johnny English, if I'm honest.
Oh, no, no.
And the
We've been
following
here
people-
for enough time without me undermining it. Begins.
So we will be
got a little
taking
punchy.
some new auditions for William and Arceus. Man, get in your audition. We suddenly need a new actor because Jay can only join us for the rest of his life, which is about 5 months.
Which is going to be ending quite shortly.
Jay
Honestly,
suffered
you
an
guys should
unfortunate
hear
accident.
all of them. You guys should hear all of these guys together. They're so funny, and they're always after each other, and it's hilarious. It's like 2
That's-
Australians, a Brit, and a Canadian.
I
It
love
is
it.
so funny.
That's why I want to do a D&D thing with you guys, just to see what happens. Just to see what happens. Lily just said something lovely. I just want to let you know that basically Elgar and Caemorn are such comfort characters for her. The Elgar teaser brought her to tears. So Edward, beautiful, beautiful
Lily,
thing.
thank you very much. Hearing this from you all, we keep joking about how much it means to hear this from you, all of you. But it really does mean a lot to me. I won't speak for the rest of them because they're all weirdos, but it really does mean a lot to hear this from you. I think many artists are secretly neurotic or needy. We write these things, we create these things for you and hope that it makes someone's life a little better, just a day a little better, bring a bit of joy. So hearing this from you is a wonderful
nice.
experience for me.
It's really good for us to know that what we're doing is not selfish.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes it feels like that. Oftentimes it feels like, oh, I'm just doing this because I love it. And I'm going to follow my dreams. But knowing that it affects other people and that it makes somebody's day a little brighter, makes me feel more like a doctor than a hot dog stand owner.
And
get
also
it.
the fact that these are this is a story that you guys love so very much, and that you've trusted us and are pleased with the way that we're bringing these characters to life also means a lot. Regardless of how silly we behave, we do very much adore and love your support, and we're happy to be of service.
It was funny. Remember when we first got together, all of us, to start to answer some of the behind the scenes questions and stuff before anyone had heard even chapter 1. And I remember like trying to explain ineptly and inarticulately like how the readers have really felt about these characters, how for them they're very real, and very important, and you guys would become very important to them. And I think that has been played out. So you're seeing just a fraction of the love that I have heard from them in various places, all about how they just feel about your acting, and that they just think of you as the characters, and they're so excited, and that's why they want you to continue on. So I'm glad you're here seeing some of
We are
this.
here for the whole series.
Excellent.
And we are, you know, if we can get the money, we'll do the animated series, and we can
Yes.
characters that there are. And there's lots of great actors in this city that would love the opportunity to work on something this amazing, this artistic, this creative, and this LGBTQ friendly.
Yes, thank you. And that's just, yeah, I mean, it's just been to have people of your quality in this has lifted it up. So I continue to have my little imposter syndrome in the background here as we go. So there are a couple of questions for me just about publishing and stuff. Those I'll answer another time. I do have AMAs where I go into those. I recommend them then because I want to really take up the actor's time with that. But it's not a hard process. It's become very much open to everyone, which is why Everdark exists. I mean, one of the things that, and I think this is something I actually wanted to ask Hannah, because I think you've worked with obviously big name things, which I won't mention, I won't name check, but things that I was like, oh my God. And now you're working with individual authors. How has that changed things for you guys as actors, especially like, you know, audiobooks and other stuff? Is it been a better experience, a worse experience, sort of?
I mean, I've got to say that, you know, like I said, my background is in, I've done a lot of theater and voiceover and animation and stuff like that. But, you know, a lot of acting is, you know, dance, monkey dance. You do what somebody else tells you. And even though you might be the most qualified to say how it should be done, you're always listening to somebody else telling you how it should be done, whether they're qualified or not. With audiobooks, I get to be my own producer, my own director. I get to choose my editor. And I get to decide, I get to make all the decisions about every character I play. It has been probably the most freeing experience as an actor that I've ever had. I know
Wow,
Edward also
cool.
does a lot of audiobooks. He works with me quite often. You can ask him what he might, how he feels it compares.
Yeah, Edward, what do you think it's done for the business, I guess, on your end of it?
Which business? Sorry, the question is
Which
not clear.
business? I'm so sorry. Now getting to work more with authors, individuals, rather than maybe publishing houses or, you know, anime studios
Yeah.
and that sort of thing.
Yeah. I think the intimacy of having a direct engagement with an audience is very different. It's the intimacy you get with theatre, perhaps, but actors come into the process a third of the way through when everything's been created and locked and designed, and you show up and you build the character, you live that role, and you're done. And you don't see it in the edit stage or the color correction or post-processing or anything else. So I'm just loving that, of being able to speak directly with people and see the engagement that they are bringing and what's working, what's not. Yeah, it is a different beast because you often don't get to engage with the writer, the creators, unless you're playing a role of a certain size. It's your job is to show
Right.
up, know your lines, do the acting, and then go home, go away.
And then go home. I think, you know,
Yeah.
one of the things that I've loved about doing serials and having the site is that I do get the one-on-one with the readers. Like after a chapter is out there, I mean, it's like I finish it and I'm publishing it. It could be 3:34 in the morning, as they've noticed recently, and I get immediate feedback, and that's a buzz. Like writing the books without that has been a slog because, you know, and now with the serials, I'm like, I get to hear immediately what they feel and how they behave and everything. And I'm going to know if I did a good job or a bad job, which is what I'm sort of like loving about this, you know, different method of doing things instead of being set off to the side. And that, I mean, that's what it's been a thrill to work with you guys to like hear this like come to life. And yes, there's another train, Edward. I know there's another train.
Yay!
It's going past. It's going through. So that's sort of been like a really cool thing about that, to be able to work myself without there being like 15 middlemen between me and, you know, hiring someone.
Yeah,
Again,
and
this
having
is just,
arguments about things
Yeah.
which don't matter. I'm like, are we sure that we want Caemorn's shirt to be blue? because I'm not sure the blue really.
Right.
I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. And it's like almost like they're, they have no idea what the actually audience wants, and it's like, good Lord.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah, no,
filmmaking by
that's
committee.
bad committee. That's exactly it.
I just wanted to add, you guys, if you have any questions for Seeyr, she has appeared in the chat, so she has joined us. She just texted me. So if you have any questions for Seeyr, feel free to ask Liz Gentle, is
Yeah,
the actor who
please.
plays Seeyr.
Please do that, guys, that we have her here with us, which is so awesome. Hey, Raythe, how would you feel about a vampire-themed soap opera in Everdark? I bet Balthazar would make fun of the cliches in it, and Julian would explain it to Damon. Julian would have to explain to Damon why there's somebody always having amnesia and like marrying their sister accidentally.
Oh God, I would tune
Accidentally
in
on purpose.
every
Yeah.
Yes.
single day. I would be tuning into that. I love a soap opera. Love it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so with it. I agree. And this is something that, Ivy just pointed out, like Queen of the Damned was the first vampire movie I genuinely liked. And I'm damn picky about my vampire and werewolves. I really think that that's true. I think that, although there's been, I think, better representation in television of this genre, there are, you guys know, vampires and werewolves are like the biggest paranormal romance market, and yet we do not see them out there. It's weird, isn't it? Isn't it weird that there's not like, I don't know, more television, more books that based it, more movies based on this?
Edward and I are going to be narrating a new series, if any of you are interested, which is like a demon romance series.
Cool.
It's definitely hetero, so there's that. But
sigh.
It is kind of funny. I've got to say, I've laughed. I've like LOL'd a few times while reading it. It's pretty funny. So, it's called Mated to the Monster. So if you guys get a chance, that should be appearing on Audible in the next couple of months.
Awesome. Yes, whatever you want to tell, because I know people want to continue listening to you guys. That's absolutely. Give me the link to that as well.
Cinders and Ashes. Let's plug that too.
Yes.
Oh
so
my God,
5,
the latest Cinders and Ashes. Oh my God, it's so good.
Thank you.
I only play a couple of voices in it, but Edward is amazing, and Raythe's writing is amazing, and it's been getting great reviews. So I hope you guys grab a copy of it if you can.
Yes, it's like I really wish I had taken one more book for this series. I really do. I really feel like I had to like really get it in, but I know that you guys will pull it all together in the 7th book. And by the way, number 5 is number.
Wait, there's a 7th book?
No, number 6. I'm sorry. Don't worry. There's not a 7th book.
Sorry, what?
Number 6.
What?
There should have been
what?
7th book. No.
I wouldn't complain if there was, but I was like, oh my God, we got to make sure there's room for that.
Yeah, we're still waiting. They finished the 5th book, and so the audiobook is coming. We're waiting on ACX, which is, again, taking forever to approve.
Sigh.
They are the worst.
They are the worst. They take 60% of right off the top of everything.
Amazon just like rakes authors over the coals, and there's no other choice.
There
It's
isn't.
Amazon, and it's the biggest market.
Oh, and by the way, if we were to do it, have it just be, if I were to put Everdark out on there, you know how much we would get? 20%, because it's not exclusive. We would get 20% of the sales. It makes me want to hurt someone.
And they are earning, for their money, they web host it, and they process the transaction. That's it.
They do nothing. They don't even process a transaction.
No.
We do the transaction elsewhere.
Yes, and they don't, and there's no support in the back end either.
Yeah, there's no back end support on this.
Because one of the things that I know that, to be honest with you, not that you need more work, Edward, but what's been driving me crazy, I I've told these stories about having the worst experiences with voice actors. The last of which for the Vampire Club, where the voice actor, I don't know the hell what he did. He just like left. He like left and didn't do the final book. So I had to get someone else, and I got in so much crap for
That's not
that.
okay.
No,
Yeah.
no. And there's actually
No.
mistakes. There were so many mistakes. It would take 50 hours of me going through because he refused to get an editor. That was
Oh.
another thing. And he was making top dollar on this, and I'm like frothing. But I feel like I want you to redo the Vampire Club series. I'm sorry. I'll have to talk about this another time,
Yes.
but it makes me
Look
angry.
at this. Now we're doing business on stream. And you have every right, and you have every right to be angry, Raythe. I think we're all professionals here, and I encourage anyone out there, if you make a deal, keep your word.
Yeah.
That's it.
Even
Otherwise,
if it
hire
takes,
a lawyer
even
and
if
get the
it
hell
takes
out.
longer, even if it takes longer than you expected, even if you're new at it, just be honest, keep the lines of communication open, and do your best for others. And that will come back to you because you'll get better and better at it as it goes. I mean, my first few audiobooks were terrible. Like, I go back and I listen to them and I'm like, oh my God, I need to redo these for free for these authors. I
Totally like going
apologize.
back. Oh, I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I know. He was new and I picked him out and he was getting like I don't know. I just had to. Well, it's because after him is when I got you guys, when I met you guys. And I think you remember in the audition notes I said you have to have an editor and you were like, "Why are you asking?" Of course we have an editor. Of course we do this. I'm like, "You don't understand."
I've seen things.
I've seen
Oh my God.
things. I've experienced. I have PTSD from this.
You're not the only, honestly, Raythe, you're not the only one. We've had, we work with a lot of authors who constantly come back to us now because we make it easy. We're just
Yeah.
like, look, this is it. Maybe we're a week or two late. I've got to say, we're not great on deadlines. We've got a lot going on in our lives, and we try to make that clear before we sign any contracts. But we always get it done, and the quality is there.
Yes.
And that's why people keep coming back.
Which is why I would recommend that you guys listen to anything that these guys produce. It's really amazing. It's really fun. So I'm looking forward to that demon story that you're doing. That's very exciting. So definitely.
It'll
All
be
right,
fun. It'll be really fun. We also work under Duke and Duchess de Foix. So if you're into period romance, those are our
Nice.
handles for those. I recommend listening to the newer stuff rather than the older stuff because that's where we started, and the older stuff is a little bit rough.
Rougher than the
Yeah.
Can
beautiful
I
stuff
completely
now.
turn this bus around and say, I think it's time that Jay does some ASMR for us?
I think it is.
Please.
I think it is. I think we need that.
Yes. So what do we want to do? This next one, scene 6?
Scene
I
10.
can see. There's hang on. Let me scroll.
And then
for
I
a
believe,
second.
Kat, you're up for the crinkling with our special surprise show.
Oh God, there's
Where
a
am I?
crinkling
Scene-
shit?
I don't think we can do the
Oh,
radio
scene
play.
10. Yeah, the radio play needs everyone else here.
Everyone. Oh,
No,
what a bummer.
it doesn't. It only Bruno was going to crinkle some candy wrappers.
It really
And,
does. It
Raythe's
needs
gonna do Adam's
Adam,
role.
and even if I took over
You know what?
Adam and Bruno's parts.
I was ready for Foley as well. Hang on, get ready for this.
Me too. Oh, that's really good. Listen to
Oh,
this.
wow.
What's that supposed to be? A basketball?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. It's when Damon and Julian play basketball together.
Did you guys hear my
Right.
door?
Yes,
I
that
did
was
hear the
very
news, yeah.
good. But I just assumed it was, quite frankly, like my my train. If we only had the train.
It was done on purpose, though.
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
Oh, how do you know the train wasn't on purpose? Okay, should we hear some ASMR from scene
ASMR.
10?
All
I
right,
think it is in my
then.
script.
Let's do
Yes. Yes.
I'll let the
let's do
producers
this,
make
let's do
choices.
this. Yeah, let's do this thing. Okay, so scene 10, Oblivious Actor J. So it's called it just says casting, and I don't know who wrote it, so I'm so sorry. If you identify yourself in the chat, and then it's all you, Jay.
Hi. I'm here. Can you buzz me in? I'm from Biter. A little early, sorry. Yeah, thanks. Man, your place is great. I didn't know you could get an apartment so fancy. I guess when you're a vampire, you have lots of time to make money. How old are you, anyway? Well, no need to look so offended. I was just curious. What do you mean, what brings me here? I answered a biter post for the Acolyte audition. Do I know what that is? Not really, but an audition's an audition, and I really need this job. If I don't pay my roommates back the rent, I'll just be another actor scratching out a living from a cardboard box. What do you mean it's not a part? I'm not going to be playing an acolyte? What am I auditioning for? Oh, doing deliveries. I can do that. I was a pizza driver before I got my license taken away. So unfair. I didn't even have that many beers. Just a couple for the road. It's boring when you're driving pizzas around the burbs. Wait, what do you, I'm the delivery?
Excellent. Although they said hoofbeats earlier, this was very nice. This was very good. Who did all these ASMRs? This was like excellent.
It was all
If
the
you
same
guys
author,
wanted-
I believe. Came as a package.
It is the same author. Yeah, it was a package. Oh God, I'll have to.
I'm
find
sorry.
it.
I should have written it down, and I didn't.
Maybe
Should we
Cat
do?
knows? Cat might know.
Cat probably knows. I'm sure. What about
Cat
doing
knows
scene
all.
11? I can do
We got
Christian.
scene 11. Why don't you take over Christian?
Yeah, I'll take Christian.
Perfect.
All right. All right. All right. All right.
All right, here we go. This is called Wish Away by AuldMissDion, I think. Dion? Maybe. After ensuring that Christian was safe talking with Julian, who was watching an unconscious Damon sleep, Lord Balthazar Ravenscroft decided to see for himself what Sophia Strange had bought herself. It was a fatal curiosity he had, but one that he felt was entirely necessary given the uncertain loyalty of a vampire from the Seeyr bloodline. For all he knew, she could be a plant from the Order to keep an eye on things in House Ravenscroft. Or maybe she was just as she said, a vampire endlessly searching for a place to belong. As she entered the room, sorry, that's he. This happens a lot, by the way, in narration. We'll stop and start again. Editor. As he entered the room that he assumed Sophia had chosen for her bedroom, the vampire lord noticed a wooden chest lying on the bed. The wood was far from being immaculate condition, and the metallic lock, which should have held it shut, was rusted away by years of either condensation or perhaps seawater. His curiosity getting the better of him, Balthazar opened the chest and gave a small gasp at what he saw inside. It was lined with purple velvet, and resting on top was a small oil lamp made of golden bronze.
Why would a Seeyr vampire want to have something like this?
The vampire lord whispered to himself. He picked the object up by the handle and began to look at it from one direction and then the other. Despite being kept in such luxurious sanctums, Balthazar could see that the lamp was caked in layers of what he assumed was oil lamp and the dust of ages. As he started to try and brush away some of the dust and decay from the lamp, he heard two familiar voices that made him stop in his tracks.
Balthazar.
Balthazar.
The vampire lord turned around to see his fledgling standing breathless, about 5 feet from him. Arceus was only a step behind, and the two looked as if they'd seen a ghost, which wasn't as uncommon as one might expect.
What on earth are you two doing?
He asked, trying not to look like someone caught in their hand. He asked, trying not to look like someone caught with their hand in the biscuit barrel. After a moment's pause, Arceus spoke.
Balthazar, put the oil lamp down very slowly.
He said, as if he were talking to someone who was holding a loaded weapon. The vampire lord looked astounded by the confessor's request.
What do you mean, Arceus? Surely you must know that I cannot stand to see something so ancient and beautiful left to suffer the fate of being buried in dust and debris.
It's not the cleaning that we are worried about, Christian replied. It's what could happen if you wipe the dirt from its surface.
Balthazar still didn't quite understand. Laughing lightly, he brushed away Christian's concerns.
My dear, I doubt an antique lamp can send me to my second death.
Without waiting for a reply, Balthazar used his free hand to rub the lamp vigorously. Within moments, a thick purple mist spewed out of the spout and surrounded the vampire lord entirely, trapping him in a cocoon of smoke, which quickly sucked itself back into the lamp. To everyone's horror, Balthazar had disappeared, leaving behind the lamp, which had dropped back to the bed with a heavy thunk.
What the hell just happened?
Arceus yelled out. As if summoned by the shouting, Sophia Strange flitted into the room.
Oh, it seems that Lord Balthazar found the present I was going to give him. I can't believe he activated it before I had the chance to tell him about it.
Arceus looked positively furious.
Where is Lord Balthazar?
He asked, trying his best to keep his temper. The Seeyr vampire's expression of innocence didn't change.
He's inside the lamp, of course. That magic lamp I ordered was an empty one. All someone had to do was rub it, and they become the new genie of the lamp. Quite a neat little gifty, if you ask me.
Everyone in the room, except for Sophia, looked completely floored by the girl's matter-of-fact explanation.
I wouldn't worry too much about it, though. The effect of the magic isn't permanent. All you have to do is rub the lamp and make 3 wishes, and then Balthazar will return to his usual suave vampire self.
Christian looked at Sophia with an odd expression.
Are you saying you are going to make one of us into a temporary genie? Why would you want to do that?
Sophia gave him another one of her infectious smiles.
I was intending to rub the lamp myself, as I would grant him 3 wishes to thank him for his hospitality. But it seems that curiosity did kill a cat.
The silence that filled the room was deafening.
So, if Balthazar has temporarily been de-genified, that means that one of us will have to become his master, right?
Christian deduced.
Seems that way to me. I think it should be you, Christian. With the way your brain works, you could work out some wishes that will cause minimal damage to everyone here.
Or I could just make everything worse.
Christian said grimly, but he knew that Arceus had a point. Picking up the lamp, Christian rubbed it in the same way Balthazar had done just moments before. Within seconds, more purple smoke flew out of the lamp. Only this time, it formed into a muscular genie cloud styled like Balthazar Ravenscroft. He was wearing a gold and purple Arabian Nights outfit, made from silk and velvet. 2 golden bracelets snapped seamlessly around his wrists. Before anyone could speak, Balthazar began.
Who has dared to summon the genie of the lamp? For releasing me from my prison, I will hereby grant them 3 wishes.
Sophia was the first to speak.
While we're on the subject of curiosity and cats, I've always wished I could have 2 sweet little kitties of my own.
So cruel. So cruel. That was adorable. That was adorable. You guys. Aww.
Yeah, really sweet story, whoever decided to write that. Very cute. Who was the author again? It was AuldMissDion.
Miss Dion. Yes.
Old
I
like
think-
Old Lang Syne.
Yes. I think that's exactly what it is. I think that was exactly what it is. Sweet. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on one second here. Now they're like, I have the song of the G in my head from Robin Williams. I think that's absolutely right. And that is very naughty, Paloma. That did not come up. They really enjoyed that. Okay. And I see Sophia having done that, although she would have known that, quite
Yeah, I
frankly,
think
that Balthazar would
that
have
was
done it.
entrapment. Literally.
It was total entrapment.
It was totally
she
entrapment.
Knew he was going to do it.
Yeah,
She knew
I
that was
agree.
going to happen. She knew that was going to happen.
It was her
Oh my
ploy to
God.
get Kitten.
It was absolutely. I still laugh about how that all goes down, but that's probably in chapter 101 when that all happens.
Yeah,
Now that I'm thinking of
476,
it.
I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Oh
That's
my
the Everdark
God.
Pets spin-off.
Yes, the Everdark Pet spinoff.
Oh my god, that would be so cute.
I know. And the readers were the ones who named them. So it was Mephi. That's how that came to be about. Oh, good God. Well, this has been spectacular, but I'm not going to keep you anymore since it's already been nearly 3 hours. So guys, why don't you get your last few questions in for these lovely people, and then I will release them, just as we released Balthazar from his bottle. So get your last few questions in, and we will look at those.
I hope you'll post the rest of these amazing stories. We did have them all in our list of ones that we wanted to do, but time is time.
We did
I know.
37 pages of them, and we'd love to do them all, but
Yes. Time. But I promise that I will at least, yes. It's been 3 hours already. I know it has been. So if there's any final questions that we got, are there any bloopers? I think there are. We talked about this, that there were some bloopers that you guys made that we were going to do. So this is going to be
There are
fun.
some bloopers. They're not many, and I don't know
Do you
that
want to get demonetized?
I don't know how appropriate they are for
God.
YouTube.
Yeah, probably not.
But I think I have fun. Like, I have this one that I was working on because I think it's hilarious how many times Julian says vampires are real. Like,
yeah.
5
Vampires
million
are real.
times.
Dude,
Yeah,
bro.
that's it. That's
Yeah.
exactly how he does it.
Vampires
That's how
are
Adam
real.
does it. And the way
Oh my
Adam does it
God.
is hilarious.
Good
Every
night,
time.
Skylar. Sleep well.
It's just so like perfectly Julian. And so I was trying to like cut together all the times he said vampires are real, but I finally gave up.
Oh man.
much.
Oh man.
One
Yeah.
day I'll get you guys that whole blooper reel of him just saying vampires are real.
That will be good. At least we could actually post that. Good Lord. I know this is like a little bit truncated, but a favorite scene that you recorded up to chapter 30. I know. Can you even? I can't even remember how chapter 30 ended. So this is like the worst for me.
I like any scene where William is being saucy and
Yes.
salty to everyone around him. Can you do William's
Yeah.
voice just for a little moment?
It's
Can
like,
you?
Are you
I
being served?
honestly-
with fangs?
I don't mean to put you on the spot, but
Do it.
I honestly don't know if I.
it has to be the right sentence too. I think for
What's the
William.
good?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's such a little
Yeah.
bitch. I love him.
He is.
Handsome
That's
man.
actually coming up like really soon. So people will get to experience that who are not members who haven't already listened to it.
What about the line, my
Um,
master would have bought me a pony? Can you do that as William?
My master. Oh my God. That's just wrong.
That's so
just
good, though.
wrong. I know.
Or just, I want a pony daddy. No?
I want a pony daddy. I would pay Jay to say that. I want a pony daddy.
Or you just add it to one of the books.
That'll be for subscribers only.
That's only.
And for Edward's
I can
own
also like just
private.
cut together a bunch of times Jay as William saying, "I want a pony daddy," like a million times.
Oh God. Oh God.
I really enjoy these Sophia Strange Balthazar interactions, specifically
Yes.
regarding
It's
cats.
so strange. Yeah.
And
yeah.
the
Cats.
running gag where she keeps, they're in the middle of it. Oh, no spoilers. They're in the middle of doing something somewhere that's very dramatic, and Sophia brings up the promise of cats and keeps adding more cats each time, like they're a currency. The ultimate cat lady, Sophia Strange.
Yes.
I can
Yes.
relate. I'm
And
actually
poor old
surprised you
Balthazar just
haven't
having
heard.
to go, okay, well, that's
You
fine.
haven't
Alright,
heard my cat
fine.
yet screaming. She was screaming earlier, and I turned the microphone off. But she's super old. She's like 21 years old.
Mew has been surprisingly quiet. Yeah, it's your blind, crazy cat.
Well,
We love that cat.
she's not really blind. She's very with it. She's not blind. She can hear perfectly fine. She's just super loud and old. And she does her own thing, and I like it.
I like it too. Mew's actually 14 years old, but she's still like a kitten and pees everywhere.
Aw.
But yeah, she was quiet tonight, which I'm surprised. So Vera, I know yours was one that did not get a chance to be read. I can
no.
definitely say that I will read them if I can get one of them on another live stream another time. We might do it then, but I know that I will read it out loud. I know that's not.
Oh, it was
the
such a
same.
great one too, and I put down Raythe as
Oh,
the
yeah.
narrator anyway.
Yeah. So
yeah. We had some very involved ones here. Unfortunately, we'll blame Adam and Bruno. It was their fault. Direct
Their
hate
fault.
mail to them. But we had
Exactly.
folio and audio, even some pyro shots. We spent all of our budget in special effects, but I guess we'll never get to hear it now.
We will.
I know,
We'll
and
get
there's
to
some
it.
art that I can't get to show, so I'm going to ask Kat if we can't arrange to have something put up on the site there, just so we can have it all there. Maybe Jeremy can do it for us. So I do apologize, Vera. That's my fault.
I think the bot saying 18SEXXYZ, find my hot girls here. Darling, you're on the wrong stream.
Wow.
I think they're barking up the wrong tree here. Wrong crowd. Wrong crowd.
Anyway, maybe we should do a post-Halloween or a pre-Christmas special, or because these things are great. Thank you very much, everyone, for being creative.
Yes,
because it
around.
starts with sitting down and writing one story, and then maybe a few years later, you're doing this.
Yes. No, that's very
I
true.
have to say, I would like to shout out. We've had a lot of fans and listeners email the studio directly to find out how they can get into doing voiceover. And although I can't help them out because we only cast people locally in Vancouver, Canada, you know, I'm happy to field any questions you might have for your area. So yeah, feel free to send us a message, and
That's
I'll
amazing.
try to
That's
point
really
you
cool.
in the right direction.
Excellent. No, that is very awesome of you. And I think this is a question. You will find out, Sama. You will find out who William is, and you will never forget him. You will never
You will
forget
wish
him.
you could.
Yes, you will wish
Yeah, that's
you
true.
could.
That's very true.
But it's yes, like that is so true. Okay, find my hot girls here. That's lovely. That's lovely. I love those.
Well, what a lukewarm girl.
Yeah,
Peppered
like
girls.
here we go. Look, there we go. Find my
There
yes!
we go. Thank you,
Excellent.
18sex.x.
Black on YouTube. Yes, black on
I
YouTube.
wonder, are they real?
Yeah.
I love how YouTube can do content strikes because two men in a healthy, functional relationship want to kiss, but that's fine.
They can't
That's
get rid of
perfectly
bots.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
or we can look at
literally-
videos of people being bombed. That's fine too.
Fine.
But not, sorry, consensual
kissing.
relationships. Ooh. People might
We
start
actually-
feeling something and questioning things.
Oh, we actually have to cut all the feeding scenes too because they're too sexual. Yeah. Someone asked me that. Are we going to see any of the? No, you were not. There's too much. Can you imagine what they would make of that? So yeah, no.
Wait,
all
make
of it gets
what?
cut.
Did I miss something?
Oh, YouTube. None of the feeding scenes, including the
Oh.
very chaste one between Balthazar and Christian.
God,
It had to be cut.
YouTube is so
Yes.
puritanical. It's not even that. I mean, okay, it's super sexy, but it's not like
No.
like dirty.
No.
You know, like it's not something that a
Puritanism.
14-year-old would not have dealt
Yes.
with already.
But we have a warning on our channel that will not go away. Like literally, if you have a strike, that leaves after 90 days. That's you actually committing a copyright violation. But
Oh.
because we had sexy times online, evidently that means that we are forever forever damned.
Have you got like a big
so
red
great.
V that you're in public now instead of the red A for
I-
adulterous? You have to, I know it's bizarre.
Kat tells me no, but I just sort of do feel like our some of our stuff's being suppressed, but that could just be me. That could just be me.
Look,
Oh,
if
I think
artists are
that-
supposed to
I
make people
think that
feel
is-
things.
You know, I watch a lot of YouTubers, and they all complain about the same things. Like, if their
Yeah.
stuff is like maybe a little too gay or a little too not like heteronormative or politically correct, then they get kind of like blacklisted by YouTube, and so they're like the algorithm gets like messed up, and they're not getting the views that they probably should.
Yeah, and we're hoping that it's just, I mean, because they like literally nuked the video, and it was, somebody pointed this out, Full Moon Witch. I remember they took Raythe's video down during Pride Month. Yes, during Pride Month. It was
Oh my
awesome.
God.
Yay.
I know.
Meanwhile, they've got like, rainbows all over their logo, and they're like, we
Yes.
support LGBTQ+. And you're like, no, you
Yes. No, they
Look,
don't.
just
They
remember,
do not.
ladies and gentlemen and other gentle beings out there, sex between two men is twice as manly
It's
as between a man and a woman.
Exactly.
Literally
Hetero.
twice as manly.
twice as manly. Oh my
Hetero
God.
squared.
Yes, hetero squared indeed. Indeed. Yeah.
So back on the
Yeah,
future.
yeah.
Candy
Oh my
canes
goodness
and
gracious.
happiness.
This is just, yeah. Oh God. All right, now I can't get back on the, why can't I get back on the chat? Back to messages. All right.
Because
Yeah, so-
they hate you.
They do hate me.
Couple the man movement.
But for
Very
those of
good.
you who it has encouraged to sign up or buy an audiobook or did anything, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. That is how we are able to afford to do this. And I mean, with the grace of Her Grace Serene Studio doing it for much less than they should be, but they're doing it. So there we go.
We're doing it. We're doing it because it's important, and because
Yeah.
we like it, and because we think it's worth doing. Right?
Yes. Oh, I mean, absolutely. I hope so. It's very fun. Yes, Sierra, don't worry. They're working on it. Just number 5. We're waiting on approval. So don't you feel the whip at your back, Edward?
Between doing Everdark and Cinders
Oh,
and
I wish,
Ashes,
Raythe,
plus
I
all
wish.
of our regular
Yeah.
audiobooks. It
Yeah.
there's only so many hours of audio you can do a day
A little
without your
bit.
voice breaking.
Yeah.
And because Cinders and Ashes and Everdark is so heavily reliant on Edward's voice,
Yes. a bit.
normally the other stuff we do is like 50-50, so I'll be doing half and he'll be doing the other half, a bit less. But these two rely heavily on Edward, and so he needs a break. Be
I
kind.
think so.
Be
I
kind
think
to him.
so. But it just do feel that whip though. Believe me, I get questions all the time. They're still doing it, right? Edward's still doing it. Yes, Edward and Hannah are still doing it. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
Every day.
Every day. That's so true. So is anyone, I
And
guess,
I only
last
do it
question.
for things like this and for people like you.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So Jay, you've been quiet, but you are, I know, are getting some dressing up coming up for Halloween. What are you dressing up as? Tell people, tell the world.
I haven't figured that out yet. I
Ah!
a lot of superhero stuff usually, but I haven't really put together a costume of sorts. I mean, the
Just go
costume
as
that I
Damon.
wore to the I should actually just a fur coat and nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That would be hot.
Excellent.
Mm,
I like it.
I'll consider it.
It would be both an expensive and cheap costume. So, yes.
Yeah, it's just
I
the
like
the
it.
public indecency charge that I'd have to worry about.
A little bit. We'd bail you out. We'd definitely
Yeah.
bail you out.
We'll
Yeah,
totally
worth it
bail
for
you
the-
out. No problem.
Worth it for the lolls.
Very nice. Very nice. So, but yes. So, guys, really and truly, thank you so much for taking tonight to be here with everybody. And then for all the listeners who joined us and will listen to this later, I know a bunch will. thank you so much for supporting us and this work. I cannot tell you what a blast it's been. In all honesty, it's really and truly been wonderful. Oh, we get free
virtual girl.
Yeah,
Right. Well,
Oh,
and then we're on
wonderful.
clicking.
Yeah, I gotta go now, guys.
What's a
Sorry.
vert? What's a vert girl?
Virtual girl. Cartoon girls.
I thought that was going to be
Computer
something in Empire of the Stars, the new book. We are from the Vert Empire.
Yes, the Vert.
The,
I think there's
sure,
going
the
to be
Vert
something
girls are
now.
attacking.
I know.
Don't let them take you alive.
Oh, God. Oh, now we're getting punchy.
A little punchy.
Nice.
A little punchy.
Nice.
A noise. So thank you again to everyone. Thank you so much. And take care, guys. I'm going to end the stream now. We will, I know, Trixton, we will see more fan art. I promise we'll get it more up. I promise.
We will be back.
We will be back, hopefully for Christmas, hopefully for one shot of D&D. I
And
got
I
to
hope you
convince
guys
them.
will take a moment to actually read all the stuff that got sent in because it's really good.
Mhm.
Yes.
Very good stuff.
Absolutely.
Yes. All right. Well, bye, guys. Take care of
Lots a lot,
yourselves.
all. Be
Thank
well.
you so
Be
much.
well.